It wasn't on YouTube. It was on the Pornhub.
Greetings, sentient beings.
What else do they do with it,
broadcast
Steve?
is not intended for children. There will be strong language and adult themes, as you can see by Jenny discussing porn before I even get the disclaimer out.
Just a word. It's just a word.
The internet was made for porn.
Yep. Oh. So, today's is one with just too long of a title. The International Day Against Homophobia, Transphobia, and Biphobia.
Well, that's okay. We'll just hate everybody equally.
Yeah, well, yeah. The long and short of it is, it's don't be a bigot day.
It's sad that we have to have a day like that, isn't it?
It is. It's very sad that it has to be pointed out to people that they should actually treat other people like human beings.
Wait, we're supposed to treat people like human beings? Oh, crap.
Most people prefer it, yeah.
Well, if that's true, then I'm giving up on this collar.
Commander likes your avatar.
Thank you, Commander. It's stolen off the internet, of course.
Yeah, so far, Commander's the only one I'm seeing in the side chat. If there's anybody else, they're not making themselves known. There's got to be somebody else out there, because YouTube says there's 5 people. Oh, so how's Molly doing?
Doing pretty good. I've been working on recall training. Having a little bit of trouble with that.
Recall for your dog?
No, can't really come to me when I call her. I'm practicing on leash with a retractable leash on her that goes out about 15 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Mixed results so far. I might have to play around with different methods of training her. But I want to try and get her be fairly reliable on the recall. Well, because I want to try and take her to a dog park or something, and I'll need that, on command.
Okay, do you just have her on a collar?
No, I have a harness.
Okay. I was going to say, it is actually easier to leash train them with a harness.
No, I decided to start walking her with a harness because the collar could choke her, and that particular collar, right, the latch can actually break pretty easily.
Yep. There's also a thing out there called the gentle leader, which it looks like a muzzle, but it's actually a very loose fit, and it only tightens up on them when they pull too much on the lead.
Yeah, I've seen those, but that's more for teaching them not to pull. She does have some work on that as well, too. She's doing better with the jumping.
Can she jump now?
No, not jumping.
Oh, I see.
As in not jumping on people. Still, like I said, still a little bit of work there, but in this week she jumped up into the car by herself this time. But it was the first time she did that.
But I thought you were trying to teach her not to jump.
Well, getting into the car. I do want her to do that.
You humans are so confusing.
No, you don't jump on other people, you jump into the car.
Okay, now you'll just have to teach her to only jump into your car. Had that happen when we were on a trip with my dog in high school. That just at one of the rest stops, he saw an open car door, he jumped in.
Yeah, I had my uncle's dachshund do that to me once. Jumped in my car, I closed the door, we drove around down the driveway and got back out.
Yeah. Well, this is just a total stranger. Had no idea who the guy was. Just open car door. Let's go.
Well, I went over to the vet with Molly. I didn't give her any shots or anything. I just had to weigh her. Tried to sell me some, I think it was heartworm medicine and some chewable flea stuff. I might have to hold off on the flea stuff, and I found the generic version of the worm medicine. Just preventative stuff.
Ivermectin.
Yes, in fact, yes, it is ivermectin.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The Heart Guard and the one is Heart Guard is ivermectin, and the generic one I found was Iverheart Plus, and it's about half the price. So I'm gonna try and talk to them and see if maybe I can get that instead. I need it's still prescription only, and
Yeah, for the flea control for the cats, I just, I use the one that you put it on the back of their neck and rub it in.
yeah, I'm actually looking at maybe just spritzing her with neem oil as a preventative to keep the fleas off her in the first place.
What kind of oil?
Neem oil. Neem.
I'm not familiar with that one.
I forget which name brand it was, but one of the once a month drugs for dogs will repel the fleas as well as kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's they were having me give her a next guard, which is a little chewable thing. It basically the flea jumps on her, they bites her, and then they die. But it's supposed to also repel them. Though I was also recently trying to look into some of the stuff, and there's one study they came across that apparently about 60% of the dogs in the study he had adverse side effects to the stuff, and there were even 117 deaths apparently associated with it, according to the owners, who don't know if these actually a result of the next guard or not.
I didn't realize it was anywhere near that high.
That kind of makes me a little hesitant to keep giving it to her,
Mm-hmm.
I've used those various brands for decades on my dogs and never had a problem.
Yeah, some dogs it doesn't bother them, but apparently can affect dogs badly though.
Well, true. Lots of stuff good. It's just like a human.
Yeah.
Some drugs
Yeah, sure.
will hurt you.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to look at the percentages. If you get 100 dogs that are dying nationwide from some particular drug, you're talking about a piece of millions and millions and millions of dogs. And now suddenly it's not that common, is it?
Well, like I said, 60% adverse effects is a little questionable. And stuff that apparently doesn't actually repel the fleas. It just, kills them if they happen to get on her.
Well, the idea of that is that's supposed to kill the fleas before they have a chance to lay eggs.
Yeah, basically.
Although, once again, some of those preparations will kill the eggs too.
Yeah,
I never had a flea problem on any dog I've ever had until I got my German Shepherd, and then I have no idea why she got fleas, but she did, and oh gosh, and I started using one of those preps, and I was absolutely amazed that within like 3-4 days, she stopped itching, completely, and she stopped whining and crying and hurting, and I never saw her have a problem again.
What was the stuff that you used?
I don't remember. This is 20 years ago.
Oh. I remember my first dog had issues with fleas, and we never really found anything that particularly worked very well on her. But
yeah, when I was in New York, we had an outbreak of fleas, which isn't surprising considering the cats, ran wild in the park and were associating with the cats from the feral colony.
Yeah, I blamed cats too. My backyard that I had was only partially lawn. The rest of it was like prairie plants, and so it was, fairly tall and lots of places for fleas to hide. And so I figured that's why she got him, because she was my first dog into that kind of environment.
Actually, what I used in New York to get him under control was I bought a bag of diatomaceous earth.
Really?
Yeah, because it's not dangerous for mammals, but for invertebrates, basically it winds up scoring the exoskeleton and causing them to dehydrate.
Yeah, they'll also work on the eggs too.
Yeah, same thing. That basically it causes punctures in the eggs.
Yeah, I've looked into. Yeah, I was looking into that as a preventative treatment as well.
Yeah. See, I always went at the dog with a little needle and just found each egg and poked each egg. No, I'm just kidding. And what's important to remember is that with all these different drugs and treatments that we're talking about, and the cautions, and the benefits and the downsides, all apply to trans people too. And since it's not beating up and killing trans people anymore, I just thought I'd mention that.
And just to make it clear, well, first of all, I should say that nothing on this channel should ever be taken for medical or legal advice. But with that said, I will say that ivermectin will not cure trans people.
It won't.
Nope. I just figured we probably need to say that today.
So this means should I not take my dog's heart guard to prevent myself from getting COVID?
That is correct.
Okay, just checking.
That would be a bad idea.
Yeah, couldn't say that with a straight face.
My coffee's too hot. Make it stop.
Well, can you give it a little swig of cold water?
No, it's too full.
Huh. Well, drink some first and then give us a swig of cold
But
water.
it's too hot. Then when it gets cold enough that I can drink some, so I have room, it won't need room.
Well, see,
it's a dilemma.
See how problematic coffee is? You just shouldn't bother with the stuff at all.
I had the Delight Oreo flavored coffee in a can.
The who?
The Delight brand. This is the iced coffee. It was the Oreo flavored.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it tasted kind of like drinking an Oreo. It's really weird.
That sounds pretty woke to me.
Oh, is Delight one of those woke brands? I didn't keep track.
I'm going to tell the Republicans, and they're going to come after you.
Oh no.
Yeah, and you just said blow on it.
Yeah, your coffee's looking at you saying, "Blow me."
This has been a bad year for violence against trans people. I thought I read one news blurb on somebody's website, and I apologize for not having the detail. Maybe Mage could look it up or do some kind of search. But I thought somebody was saying that so far this year there have been more trans women murdered than all of last year or the year before.
Well, I would not be at all surprised that it's greatly increased because, the Republicans have really been ramping up the rhetoric about, trans people being groomers and basically going to lead to the downfall of society. Some of the right-wing pundits have basically, called out for people to start eliminating trans people.
Yes, they have. there seems to be, and I don't know how to say this without it's an opinion, okay. I'm getting the feeling that there's more and more people from the cis world, from mainstream America, who have begun to recognize that this is a real problem that's going on, and the assault on us, and the degradation, and the bullshit lies, and all these kinds of things, and are starting to wake up and demanding change from their lawmakers, that they're wrong to do this to do this to us. I also heard, if anybody knows Bo from the Fifth Column on YouTube, he's done a number of his bits about trans issues and stuff. He's really quite an ally. And he was talking about the repercussions the states are going to feel from their actions if they have any kind of military bases and stuff in their state that they depend on, that sometimes live for a military base. And if the military base wasn't there, the town would die. And he says that's going to start to happen because they have been penalizing states who are anti-gay or anti-gay LGBT, it's just not just trans. Let's see, what was the example he drew? Alabama apparently in Huntsville was named, and this is before a lot of the anti-trans bills started to exist, was named a base for the new Space Force. Okay. And that would be a multi-billion-dollar investment in the state, and all kinds of jobs and all kinds of economy and enlargements and stuff like that. The Air Force has said, no, we're not going to go there because they're interfering with our people's lives. We're going to move to Colorado, which is a safe state. Interesting, isn't it? And he says he expects that every branch of the military, when they start going after it, are going to do the same thing, because it's a direct assault on their readiness. To use the military term of readiness, that if their soldiers and personnel are being hassled, who can't get medical care, whose lives are in danger just for existing, who are having problems getting housing, all that kind of stuff. If that's interfered with, and these people can't stand living there in any kind of normal human fashion, they're not going to stand for it. They're going to leave. The military has always been on the forefront of resolving diversity issues and that sort of thing. They've had them just like everybody else, but they're the first to do something about it. It happened with people of color, went with Truman, and has just continued on from there.
Okay, I looked up your statistic, and it seems number of trans people homicides of trans people have doubled since 2017, and most of them have been killed by firearms.
Yep. Gee, who would have known that the guns would be involved?
And speaking about guns, we also have DeSantis making it legal in Florida to carry a concealed weapon in without a permit.
Yep. Texas already passed that.
A lot of
DeSantis
states
can't let Texas have one up on him.
Mm.
Sorry, what'd you say, Jay?
A lot of states have done that. Wisconsin has gone with open carry, and I think they've dropped or are working on dropping the concealed carry permit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes a
People
lot
are
of
so
sense.
fucking nuts.
Yeah, well, every time we have a mass shooting, the Republican response is to loosen up gun control.
Yeah.
So not being in this country, what do you think? Ain't godless?
Depresses the fuck out of me, honestly. Honestly, you know, I mean, I suppose a part of me should make me feel this part of me, I suppose, I should feel more relieved about how fucked up we are here. But you know, no, it's just.
Oh,
It's
you're
just
just not as fucked up yet. Remember, we're
no,
exporting it to
we're
you.
fucking getting there. We're
Yeah.
fucking getting there by you know.
Well, your Tories are
mean-
just taking notes from the Republicans. You'll get it in a year or two.
Jesus Christ! Like there's this blooming like national conservatism rally that going on with right now or whatever. But you've actually had senior Tory ministers go and attend this thing. And I mean, just today they had this a fairly well-known historian called Dr. David Starkey, and he made a few TV programs on like Tudor monarchs, like going back years ago. So he's quite well known, but he's also known for spouting all kinds of like racist shit. And he said something today that the about the left were anti-Semites who were trying to downplay the Holocaust to promote things like Black Lives Matter. This is what this fucking moron said today.
That's one of their new tactics. Is it's coming from a lot of different angles. The conservatives are starting to blame left-wing people for Jew hatred, even though they're the ones that's standing there saying kill the Jews.
That was going on within, you know, that was going on a few years ago within the British Labour Party, because the sort of right wing of the British Labour Party didn't like, well, starters, they didn't like the leader Jeremy Corbyn then anyway, but they also didn't like elements of the left that were, shall we say, critical of Israel, and were maybe saying, hey, Israel does not have the fucking right to do what they're doing to the Palestinians. So which they kind of sort of just, you know, so they just painted anyone who says that as an anti-Semite.
Yeah.
Even though I can guarantee you, I could got quite a few rabbis that actually would say something very similar about Israel.
Being pissed at Israel's human rights abuses in and around their country does not mean you hate the Jews. You know, it's like the difference between hating an individual or the Republican Party.
Yeah. Well, I would see. I was going to say that you know, Republicans are actually getting arrested in Britain at the moment, but then, you know, they have to remind Americans that that word's got a bit of a different connotation here. So, yeah, on the coronation, there was a whole bunch of Republican protesters who were doing nothing fucking wrong, and they all got fucking arrested. Some of them had even like been spending months talking with the Metropolitan Police about what their plans were and getting the whole thing to go ahead for it, and they still got fucking arrested. It's disgusting.
Hi, Beck.
Hello.
Yeah, they're really doing everything they can to suppress people from protesting.
Well, Florida has passed a bill against protesting on some level, haven't they? I forget.
You can run protesters over their car if you want.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's it.
You're in the way.
Oh yeah, well you can run protesters down with your car, and then you can have the President of the United States saying, "Well, there's good people on both sides."
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. Even though one side there's good people, even though the one side are openly fucking Nazis.
Former president, please.
Possibly future president.
Yeah, I'll say, let's hope he stays former president.
Yeah, no shit.
I mean, I suppose it's a result that he got. I suppose it's a result that he got found guilty of that thing the other day. But again, it's going to make the ones who like believe all the conspiracy theories against him. It's going to make them even more entrenched in their position. But
Well,
Well,
everything
it's a
will.
start anyway.
Everything will. Right wingers are immune to facts.
No, they're not immune to facts. It's just their kryptonite. Facts will kill them.
Okay, I'm not familiar with the Lockwood Party.
oh, look, I think it's pronounced Likud Party. I think that's how it's pronounced. Netanyahu's party.
That's not Netanyahu. That's Benjamin Wadayahu.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been. Yeah, I mean, it's gotten a lot worse. It got a lot worse with Netanyahu, but I don't think I don't think anyone should pretend that the problems or the things that Israel has done started with him, because it's been going on for fucking decades. So,
Although he
So
is part of the cabal of conservatives that are trying to change the free world into fascism.
yeah,
Okay, Commander says that's called vehicular cancellation. That you can run protesters down.
Really, it has a cute name, huh?
Yeah, everything does these days, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
can't
sure
say
how much
murder.
of a...
You can't
Huh?
say murder. Accused person of murder. You'd offend them.
Yeah, cancel culture has to give everything those cute names.
yeah, but yeah, that blooming. I mean, that blooming his historian, in Britain, Starkey, coming out and said, I mean, this is like this, this is like the second time in about a week that he's said something racist publicly, and the other one he sort of said he was being critical of the British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, who. No, I'm going to make this clear. I do not have any time for Rishi Sunak. I mean, he's the guy's a conservative, multi-billionaire, multi-millionaire.
Anti-trans.
I have no time for the man at all. But for this guy, David Starkey, to actually say, well, he's not showing proper respect for the coronation because he's not invested in our culture. In other words, he's not one of us because he's brown skins. And I'm like, fuck you. I don't like Rishi Sunak, but he was born like 5 miles away from where the fuck I live. He's my age. He was born in Southampton. Grew up here. Went to like public school. What we call the public school system in Britain or whatever. He couldn't be much more blooming like British if He's the absolute poster child of British conservatism. So I don't see what David Starkey's fucking problem is. Oh, other than he's not got a skin colour that David Starkey particularly cares for. So yeah, you can tell that this guy's pissed me off a bit the last week or so. So yes. So is anything good happening anyway? Is it,
Well, every place is selling Pride material now, gearing up for June.
Okay, yeah.
course, most of that's just corporate shilling that, last day of June, they'll paint it all over again.
Corporate virtue signaling. Right.
Ow! Sorry.
I've just been looking over different undead stuff in RPGs and stuff, whatnot. These boneless in D&D art are pretty grotesque and could work for some ideas I had.
Boneless?
Yeah, they're basically just reanimated skin.
What?
I suppose there's got to be a lot of it left around, considering how many hordes of skeletons you encounter in D&D.
Apparently, they'll just wrap themselves around in somebody and just kind of try and take them over, or that way, kind of get a body for themselves and suffocate the person in the process. So I was looking over another idea of from the anime Overlord, where Demiurge, he's a character in it, and it creates a ranch. This ranch is where he skins people alive to make magic scrolls, and then he heals the people back up using healing magic in order to skin them alive again. So imagine that, just to create these boneless.
Yeah. Hey, Commander, that sounds like a pretty good idea. Just some more entertainment and fun stuff. Give people a chance to get away from the politics sometimes. Yeah, I haven't done any D&D or role-playing for quite a long time.
Commander, you got to talk about porn.
I also watched Picard season 3 all the way through, and I'm trying to get some review of it written up. Not sure how I'm going to publish it though.
What show?
Star Trek Picard season 3.
Oh.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of Picard, so. But I'm actually not a big Star Trek fan, so.
No.
I sort of got into Discovery the first couple of seasons, but which I know all the Star Trek purists will hate me for saying that, but
I hate you for saying that. You are a disgrace.
maybe because it's it is different from the rest of what it was different from like the rest of Star Trek to begin. That's why perhaps I liked it, but but that by season 3,
that makes sense because it seems to be made for people who don't like Star Trek.
Yeah, I think those two, they're almost a separate genre, but those two movie bases should do a crossover hit. Star Trek Wars or Star Wars Trek or something like that.
Look, if Star Trek was all that great, how come it doesn't have any Lego sets? That's all I say.
Yeah, well, that's true.
No, honestly, I'm not a big fan of Star Trek or Star Wars. They're both okay.
I like Star Wars. I don't like some of the Star Wars fandom, I've got to admit. But
of the two, I actually do like Star Trek better because I think Star Trek does much better character development.
Unfortunately, the modern stuff lacks any of Star Trek's soul.
Yeah, I really haven't watched any of the Star Trek more recent than DS9.
I always felt that.
Well, I'll never forgive DS9 for stealing Babylon 5's thunder, to be honest, which is a far superior show. Fight me.
What were you saying, Jenny?
I always thought that Star Wars was more of an afternoon matinee, Saturday afternoon matinee kind of film. Shoot 'em up hero film, and Star Trek was serious cinema. It's, however serious, strange creatures with gobs of makeup and prosthetics can be.
more cerebral, I'd say.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a fair way to put it.
Star Wars was just a space western. It's basically got all the tropes of the old spaghetti western movies, and they just put them in spaceships.
Well, the original one is more like the, like traditional tropes of the fairy tale. If you look at the original Star Wars movie.
Yeah, space, basically, yeah.
Well, actually, the original one is largely the result that George Lucas was a student of Joseph Campbell.
Yeah.
Who is most famous for all of his comparative mythology stuff and his Hero with 1,000 Faces. That basically, he laid out the whole trope of the hero's arc, and yeah, the first 2 Star Wars movies follow that exactly. But like I keep pointing out to people that when the first Star Wars movies came out, we were so dazzled by the special effects that nobody really noticed, the flaws in the writing.
Yeah.
And now it's basically the other way around, where we've become desensitized.
That's all they'll bloody. That's all that. Now it's the in thing to just shit on the writing. And to be fair, there's a lot of it that deserves to be shit on.
I was just gonna say, it's kind of gone the other way around.
But I don't crap on necessarily everything Disney has done with Star Wars. I mean, I will say most of it isn't that good. I'm gonna obviously, but
yeah,
I think sometimes there's some people just got a habit of wanting to shit on things just to shit on them or get obsessed over fucking canon.
I would agree. There have been some good stuff here and there, but for the most part, it hasn't been that great.
Yeah,
that sequel trilogy has been absolute shit.
That sequel trilogy was awful. What annoys me though is some of the Star Wars fandom goes on about like the old expanded universe like it was all so brilliantly fucking written, and I'm like, if you read some of the fucking stories and the extended universe, a lot of them were really good, but some of them was fucking awful.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it's different writers, different things. Though I kind of like how they used to have it, where it was basically a tiered system with the canon and in Star Wars, which they got rid of.
Yeah.
So basically, you'd have your movies and official stuff, and then stuff like the expanded universe would still be considered canon as long as it wasn't contradicted by the higher stuff.
Yeah, I think Disney just decided to wipe the entire.
And there's no reason they couldn't have kept that, because even if they had kept that, there's stuff still been higher tier stuff, so that contradicts this, so that's no longer guarded canon, no problem. You still have everything in place, basically.
Yeah.
But they have to be controlling little fucks.
Hey, back.
Hello.
Everybody's got to be a controlling little fuck sometime. Oh, it would help if my mic was in front of me, I'm sure.
Maybe.
Good morning, everybody.
Hey, Beth, how you feeling?
Morning.
Oh, I didn't know that was you over there, Jenny. Hi, beautiful. I'm doing good. I mean,
I suppose
physically I'm fine.
My name or... You're fine.
Actually, that's not true. No, I'm not physically fine. I lied. Minor kidney filtration issues we're trying to deal with before they become major.
Oh.
That's what I'm dealing with right now. Yeah, and a little mad at my ex because she didn't have me on any medicine to keep my kidneys functioning well. She just didn't We're not going to do anything for you. I'm dating you. Bye, Angie. Have a good day.
Hi, Angie.
Later.
It's good seeing you. I barely ever see her anymore. Probably because she hates me, but that's okay.
Yeah,
I let things go
don't
after
see
a
her
while, but
around
not
a lot
everybody does.
either, except that they do the girls' night on Saturdays. Which I don't get to see live either. I just watch the reruns.
Yeah. I'm in everybody's chats all the time. I just don't say much anymore. Except for like people like you. I'll talk to you guys, but most of them I just watch.
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah. Besides that, I'm great. Oh, coffee. Go ahead, Purple. I'm sorry.
No, I just don't seem to find as much time for the live chats as I used to. Actually, part of that's kind of a good thing. Mostly it was, a couple of years ago when I was in Michigan. That was, kind of the only thing I had, and I didn't do anything else. So the fact that I'm not in as many actually indicates that I've got some other things to do for a change. And now I got to spend the next couple of weeks actually getting my place organized because we're coming up on our annual inspections.
Ah, I see. Well, you're a little busy, like taking care of Slothgrl, so I'm sure, I'm sure that's a big piece of it. But
well, yeah, just my transitioning
doing?
And her chemo, definitely between those two is taking up a lot more of my time.
Yeah, things get busy, right? Yeah. How's she doing?
Pretty good. Thursday she goes in for another treatment. This new stuff they've got her on seems to be having lesser side effects than the other one. So that's good, but we've got to wait like another month before they do another set of scans and find out whether or not it's being effective.
Right. Okay.
That she's got to be on this drug for 6 weeks before they can tell whether or not it's had any effect.
Yeah. 6 weeks is about typical for most drugs, unfortunately.
Yeah, the one she's on now is a slow delivery pump. So actually, she winds up.
Yeah.
She goes in, and they, she has to wear this little pump around that feeds the stuff in slowly over 24 hours.
Yeah. Okay. Have they made those smaller now? Are they like more compact? Or is it like a big bulky system she has? Because I know like for me, when I had my surgery, they gave me a lidocaine ball. Oh, okay. Because they gave me like this ball that like was vacuumed to my body. So as my body used it, it just sucked in more. And that was amazing, first of all. But no, I've just noticed that the medical advancements with stuff like that have, come along very far away in the last like 10 years.
Well, this one's still a decent size, because starting out, it's got to hold a bag that's a full liter.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Which means that stuff alone, puts some weight. So, when the thing's fully loaded, it weighs probably 10 or 12 pounds that she's got to, wear like a purse.
Yeah. Haul that around. Yeah, I was going to say you probably have it on the, yeah. That's about right. Oh, shit.
But
cancer sucks. I hate it.
Like I say, at least it seems to be having less side effect, and it's not completely destroying her taste like the other one did, which was a big issue for her because she really rather was a foodie, and not being able to enjoy any of the food she liked was a big issue.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when you're at home and sick, you only have so many pleasures in life. So it's nice to be able to like taste food, you know, for sure. How's she doing with nausea and stuff? Has she been pretty good through all this?
Yeah, well, again, that's with this one, it's like for maybe like 4 or 5 days after she had the pump, you know, she was having a problem with that, but you know, then she said like more than a week in between that it's been pretty good. Whereas with the old stuff, she was just like so consciously nauseous she didn't want to eat anything.
Yeah. Jesus. I hate that because I'm hypoglycemic. So when my blood sugar drops too low, I get nauseous. But then you have to eat. So it's not okay. Like it's horrible to shove food in your mouth and you feel like you're going to puke, but that's the only way to solve it, you know? Yeah. I'm kind of used to it now, though, because I've had it since I was like 15 or something. But when it's new, it's a pain in the ass, for sure. How you doing, Jeff? I haven't seen you in fucking like 2 years.
Yeah, it's been like fucking ever since we spoke, isn't it? Yeah, I'm doing
It literally
okay.
has. How you been, man? You been doing okay? Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear it.
Hey, Commander.
How you doing? I'm
Nothing
at
new.
home. My computer's plugged in, so the audio is going to work, right? Is it
So
okay?
you got a day off, huh?
Well, I just came
You
home
sound
from
fine.
work.
Yeah, you sound great.
Well, yeah, you sound good. You
How you
got
been,
your
bud?
animation moving smoothly.
I'm working on an animation where the grub muffin, I'm using the audio from Patton, where he talks about greasing the tank treads with the living guts of the enemy, and the shills are raising money for a drone. So the grub muffin is writing. It's actually in the general chat of the shills Discord.
Yeah, I saw that
server.
one.
And I just got to lift the audio track where he talks about just point me in the direction and we'll send those shitheads back to Russia. It was towards the end, but I got to lift that track. But
Nice. Nice.
I don't know if it will be
I don't know
used
how you
on
do
the
all
shills,
that shit.
but
You blow my mind with all that. I have no idea how you guys do that stuff.
A lot of time. Basically, I put more time in than anybody. That there's this one video where it ends with Neil Diamond as a penguin singing "They're Coming to America." I'm going to do the entire thing, but just the render time for that, because I used the ray tracer, was for a 1 minute of ray tracing. I had the computer rendering pretty much for 2 days straight.
Wow.
I only use the ray tracer when it's absolutely necessary.
You need to build yourself a rendering farm.
Well, that actually like takes more money than I have right now, because I had to give $4,000 to the government for taxes because Trump took away my ability to itemize because I don't make enough money. So basically they took money out of my pocket to allow someone to itemize their private yacht.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did. Yes, I noticed that as well. Yeah, I lost like all of my like gas purchases and everything. I couldn't itemize any of it because I didn't make enough money because I'm po. So yeah, no, I get it, buddy.
Yeah, Greg.
Greg, I know that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Beck.
Oh, I read a story that there's a nationwide shortage of a lot of medications, some problem with generic drug companies maintaining the supply chain crapola. Has anyone noticed this? The only thing I have heard of is there's a new kind of diabetic drug out that is also apparently making people drop pounds really well. So the rich folks are buying it up. Thank you. I didn't want to say it.
Which one is it?
They're buying it up for weight loss, and now diabetic people can't get it.
There's 3 drugs in that classification: Ozempic and
metformin.
Yes, I believe that's correct. And one other that I just heard about today, actually.
That's why the doctors were so bitchy when I moved to New York about prescribing it. They wanted me to go to a primary.
That's exactly
I had to go to Pennsylvania to find a doctor to give me 1 month's supply. And they only did it because I had the bottle. And then I wound up stretching it for another month to find a primary. And I'm paying out of pocket for my mental health care because there's no one where I live who's in network.
Yeah.
Taking new patients.
Crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if it's related to what Greg was saying there about the generic drug companies maintaining supply chains, but actually for the past year, I was often having trouble getting my injection supplies, the needles and syringes. It just seemed that the pharmacy was constantly out of stock and always delayed on refilling them.
Yeah, I was drawing up with an 18 and injecting with a 20 because that's all they had.
Ouch.
Should be like a 25 or a 27 that I'm 25 that I'm injecting with.
At that point, between an 18 and a 20, there's so little difference. You might as well use the same needle.
Oh, no.
And for those,
there's a big difference between 18 and a 20. No. When I first started doing testosterone. Oh, yeah. It's a lot. Big difference. When I first started doing testosterone, they gave me 18 gauge, and I was injecting with them. So I know what it's like. It's like sticking a goddamn pipe in your leg. Like, it hurts. That is not
actually
okay.
the 18
That's
gauge
for like butt injections and shit.
Huh? Yeah, the 18 gauge are what they gave me to inject with. I'm drawing it with the 27, but that's right. The 27 is the smaller.
Oh, tell them you want a 22. I use a 22, and to draw it is a little slow, but to shoot it, it's no problem.
No, I was getting it backwards. It's the 18th to draw the vial. The 27 is the injection.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. That sounds absolutely backwards to me.
Well, because I was having trouble getting them, and also because of the copay cost, I went on eBay and I just bought my own lot. Because actually it turned out cheaper to buy a box of 100 on eBay than to be paying the copay every month for them only giving me 4 of them.
Yep.
I believe it.
How do you know that
I absolutely believe it.
Safe?
What was that, Commander?
How do you know that those are sterile and safe on buying medical supplies like that on eBay?
Well, on Amazon, actually, but yeah.
Normal.
You cross your fingers.
Normally, if you find a medical supply company on Amazon or eBay, they're pretty safe.
Well,
I mean, I know doctors that go on to eBay, go to medical and order bulk stuff like syringes, needles, gauze and all that. So if it's a big medical supply place, they're safe.
They are sterile, but the only thing is, they always have to have the disclaimer that they're not supposed to be used for human use, that they're supposed to be veterinary medicine.
That's an escape in case they fuck you over.
Well, that's basically a thing to cover their ass, so that, yeah.
Yeah, they're not allowed to sell them to humans. You need a prescription to get them. And as long as they say it's for animal use, it's covered. It's just one of those loopholes.
Yeah.
I can't remember those. There was 2 medical supply places I used to go on and order stuff from them on eBay. I can't remember what they, because I used to order stuff from these 2 companies for Heather all the time for her office. And I can't remember what they are right now. I think, one was Medline. Medline Safe. It's a big, well-known company.
I'm very fortunate. I go to the pharmacy that is actually part of the hospital that all my medical work is done. And to the point where they've gotten to know me. They don't even ask for a prescription for needles or anything anymore. They just, how many you want, that kind of thing.
Just say the usual, Jenny, eh?
Yeah. The price is not that bad. I mean, it's way more expensive than any of the drugs I have to get, the copay. But insurance doesn't cover a penny really of the injectables.
No. For use. Not 2, but for use. Humans can buy them.
Jared, I gave my monkey a credit card, so no problem really.
Oh my God, you have a monkey?
Yeah, we've just finally got all of our prescriptions switched over to the pharmacy at the medical plaza. Mostly it was,
yeah, it's usually
when I didn't have a vehicle, it was too hard to get over there, so Walgreens was on the bus route. But I got very frustrated with Walgreens, and especially hate the thing about Walgreens saying that their employees can now claim a religious bias for not doing their job. I'm like, fuck that. I'm not dealing with that company anymore.
It's ridiculous.
A lot of people
Walgreens and CVS. Walgreens and CVS here, we had a problem for that whole year. I was in the doctor's office. Every time they sent in a controlled substance of any form, the prescription would disappear. It would be like, for instance, she ordered me some pain pills when I had that bad tooth pulled last year. And she had to send it in and call them herself she sent it in 5 times. She called them 4 times after ever. And she kept going down there, and it would send an alert on my phone saying, we received your prescription. It'll be done. We'll let you know when it's done. And then she goes down there, and they're like, what prescription? So basically what's going on is the controlled substances go directly to the pharmacist. So the pharmacist is kicking them out because they don't have time to do them. So they're just kicking them out. That's what they're doing because they're understaffed. So, fuck those pharmacies. If you can go through your hospital or whatever clinic pharmacy, I would do that.
Well, I mean,
unfortunately,
for decades, Walgreens was great.
Yeah. Until they don't have enough employees for their stores. That's their problem.
Yeah.
I've seen one store in the area that's properly staffed, and they are the busiest store, and they're still swamped. And the other ones aren't even properly staffed, and they all walk out the door and shit because they get so fed up with it. Because the company's they're not going to hire more people as long as you're a sucker enough to take care of it and give them their money they want. They're not going to hire anybody else. You're a dumbass. You're doing it all.
I remember when you had your stream, you talked about what kind of hell it was.
Guys, I'm gonna have to jump off. So.
Oh, okay.
Oh, bye, Jeff. It was nice seeing you, buddy.
See you later.
Bye,
yeah,
Jeff.
sorry I couldn't stay in longer. Right.
See you, Geoff.
Commander, what were you saying there?
I remember when you used to do streams, you were talking about the kind of bullshit you would have to deal with in the pharmacy.
Oh yeah, it's bad. People treat you like shit. It's just the rich people, though, not the poor people. They're nice. Rich people are assholes. But that's pretty much every fucking business because they're white rich people. I should clarify. I mean, white rich people are assholes. The Hispanic rich people around here are actually really fucking nice. The evil empire,
You know
right? It really is. It's horrible, man. There's a guy, a pharmacist I worked with. What?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh,
no, it's okay. Go ahead.
You know what happens? Like, they come to America, they get rich, they're good. Everyone's good for about a generation or two, and then they become entitled. I saw it in my family.
Mm-hmm.
My grandfather had to give the government almost $40,000 in the 1950s, and he didn't whine or complain. And now there's like descendants of his who, well, let's just say he would be very disappointed in the crap coming out of his son's mouth.
Well, yeah, it's the people who, you know, grew up always having money and never had to worry about anything. You know, those are the ones who develop the attitude about being entitled to everything.
But, you know, it's not their fault. The parents let it happen.
Actually,
and then those kids let it happen. And then those kids let it happen to their kids.
With my uncle, it's more or less he just turned into a piece of shit after he married his wife. Because I was raised by my grandfather and my grandmother and my mom, and he gave me the same lessons that he would give my uncle and my mom, and he's not paying attention to any of them.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that happens, but the point is you have to start from when they're little to wipe that shit out of their head. Like my ex is a total cunt, but she makes her kids go down to the soup kitchen and volunteer for Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff. She goes down and cooks for free, and she makes like these chef prepared meal because she's an amazing fucking cook. She makes her kids go down and serve the homeless people. That's smart. Because you know what, those kids is as entitled as they are still to the point they are entitled to. They know that they have it really good and other people don't. And they actually feel bad that other people don't have what they have because she instilled that in. So I know it can be done. You know what I mean? Because I've seen it. So it's, but you know, I know, and what it is these parents have nothing and they bust their ass and they make money and they want their kids to have more. So they give their kids everything they want. And that's when the problem starts right there. You can't do that. You're making them entitled because you're giving them too much.
I had a sister-in-law who was that with her kid. He just got everything. I mean, I knew the kid since he was like 6 years old, and he just everything he wanted, he got. You know, never any duties around the house or things like that. He wasn't ever taught to be respectful of elders and things. And by the time the kid reached the age of like 23, 24, he was still living at home. He still didn't have a job. He was still doing drugs, getting busted. Mommy would bail him out. And he finally got to be such a detestable human being. He was even screaming and yelling at his mother, calling her names and you know, just spewing all this vitriol and threatening to kill her. Okay. I mean, it was just completely untenable situation. And she didn't do anything about it. She never kicked the kid out. And, oh, well, he's just going through tough times. He's been going through tough times for the last 20 years. What are you talking about?
At what point are you going to kick his ass and fucking straighten him out?
And it's
too late now.
I hate to say it, but he had an accidental death. He got crushed by a falling tree. And
holy shit!
Those of us who are on the outside of the family were kind of, well, good.
Well, kind of a dickhead in life. Yeah, society's not losing much.
Well, when my father's father died,
general,
the general sentiment, not just of the family, but the entire town, was, thank God he's gone. So, yeah, I'd kind of like to not be remembered that way.
Ding Dong, the Shoe Man's dead. That was what Marcy said the whole neighborhood was singing when they thought Al Bundy died. You mean you want to be remembered better?
Yeah.
I had a racist Roman Catholic cousin, and we wound up having her buried in a Reformed Jewish cemetery, and everyone at the shul said that was a mitzvah. What happened was she was so loved at the nursing home. When she died, they asked which one should we send her to. So my mom said, just send her to the closest one, because we were the closest living family. And we walk in there, and there's Tebiev and pictures of Fiddler on the Roof, and they go and they ask, so what movement is the deceased with? Reform, Orthodox, Conservative? And we're like, Roman Catholic. But there was enough roots with the cousin where we could get her buried in a Reformed cemetery. So that was fun. She was a miserable putz. And she was spoiled rotten by one of my grandfather's sisters. So she always had everything that she wanted. And the aunt would just pay any amount of money to have her live on the other side of the Mississippi. And then the aunt wound up having a stroke, and the Putts took her mother to a lawyer before they took her to the hospital. She was that kind of bitch.
Oh.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad. Yeah.
You don't get to see a doctor until you've changed your will.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Wow.
My dad was actually cut out completely because he fell in love with Jack Daniels and he was a speech pathologist. He was a captain in the Air Force. There's a lake named after one of his ancestors, John Wesley Powell, FDR named it after him. And he managed to just fall in love with Jack Daniels and completely destroy his life.
Mm-hmm.
His
Lovely.
mother cut him out.
Yeah, alcoholism was rampant in my family, and I saw that I could have easily wound up there myself, especially if I had to stay in Michigan much longer.
I almost did, Purple. When I was in my 20s, boy, that damn alcohol was pretty good, just like Daddy said. And then eventually I just said, you know what? I don't want to drink. Actually, in the last year. Oh my fucking God. Are you kidding me right now? I haven't seen you in fucking. How are you, beautiful? I miss you.
Yeah, I can't remember last time I saw you around.
Yeah, it's been a while. Sorry about that, everybody. I didn't want to interrupt. You can keep going, Beck.
I don't know what the hell I was talking about now.
You're talking about alcoholism?
Alcoholism.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
You got something nice growing up there,
eh? Oh, yeah. Like that? I like it. Can't wait till it gets thicker. Fuck. Keep fucking me up. So, no, about 7 or 8 months ago, I just grabbed a drink out of my fridge and went, I don't want this anymore. So now I have like a 6-pack. I gotta find somebody to give to because nobody I know drinks.
Yeah, I still keep it around. I still have a few, you know.
I actually, I gotta get more rum myself.
When we moved
I don't know.
from
I just rather
Florida,
spend my money on pot.
Well,
we
I don't have
wound
that
up giving
option.
away 30-year-old wine and stuff because my grandparents were the only ones who drank.
Minnesota is 1 vote and 1 signature away from legal pot.
Finally.
One?
Yeah, the two houses reconciled the bill between themselves. So now their whole body has to take a vote, and the governor said he'll sign it. Wahoo!
Awesome.
Yeah,
About damn
I'm really
time.
surprised it's taken Minnesota so long to get on board with that. But
I've decided when it happens, I'm going to get a little pot and I'm going to roll it myself a nice fat doobie, and I'm going to go down to the Mississippi River and smoke it in front of all those people across the river in Wisconsin.
There you go. I love it. Oh, it's funny. It's so weird here because it was already medically legal and then they changed it to recreation. So the only difference is that now anybody can walk in there. Like, before, if you didn't have a card, you couldn't walk to the back. And now,
yeah, well, that's
like,
what
yeah,
it
go
is
ahead.
in Minnesota now.
That
well,
we've got a
that's
couple
also
of
what
places,
happened.
but you
That
need
was
prescription.
That was also the process that Pepto-Bismol took. It used to be, a prescription drug, and then people realized that they had really great parties with it, so they legalized it, and now it's over the counter. And,
I don't see how you party with Pepto-Bismol.
What? Pepto? I know some cough syrups if you do it right, but I didn't know Pepto could do anything of value there.
I've never heard of Pepto
Yeah,
doing
the
that.
cough syrup that's behind the counter in the pharmacy, you can get drunk off of.
Well, no, the cough syrup the cough syrup that's outside the counter, like the DM, like you can get high off of that if you drink enough of it. You're gonna feel sick too, depending, but depending on the individual, it might not matter.
Yeah, but most of our stuff like that is behind it. So most of our stuff like that's behind the counter now because everybody was making crack and shit out of it. Go ahead. Sorry.
Jenny?
What?
I thought you were trying to put something in there.
That might have been me. I was just trying
a pregnant pause there. In the Pepto-Bismol, it's something to do with the bismuth. It makes pretty crystals and stuff, and people get really stoned and watch it, and it's like, wow, man, look at that.
Maybe.
I agree, Jer.
No, would I lie to this group? Never.
Yes.
If you could make a drug or get fucked up off of Pepto-Bismol, it would be behind the counter in the pharmacy too.
Not necessarily back
in the U.S.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, before they started putting it behind the counter,
here
I remember
it's like
kids in high school they would get drunk off of it when I was in high school.
Pepto?
No, the cough medicine.
Oh, okay.
Cough syrup.
Actually, kids would they buy a bunch of cough syrup and get drunk off of it.
Yep.
They have a flaming Mo, right?
Yeah, I think so.
That was after my time. I was way out of high school and people started drinking cough syrup.
For the cough syrup bit, though, you just comparing like at least today, the relative cost is like if you're able to buy alcohol or you're able to get somebody to buy you alcohol, it's still cheaper to get drunk off of alcohol.
Yeah.
Just considering how expensive cough syrup is relative to how much you need to drink.
Yeah.
But there's a different kind. It's a different kind of high. It's not just
you can get a whole bottle of vodka.
Yeah. Well, depending. Like alcohol's reasonably expensive here, comparatively speaking. Like a small bottle of cough syrup, you'd be able to get like maybe 2 Mickey. Right. Who knows what a Mickey means? Okay, no. You'd be able to get like a medium-sized bottle of vodka, perhaps. A Mickey is a Canadian measure of liquor, and I forgot that it's Canadian specific.
Oh.
In America, Mickey is a pill or something you put in a drink so that you can take advantage of people later.
Roofie Colada.
I didn't realize roofies referred to as Mickeys. Oh my god.
Oh yeah,
well, that was even before roofies.
It started out being called. It started out being called Mickey's here, and then
sorry, I should have been clear. I didn't know that was the previous or the original slang for it.
Yes,
and roofie just comes from more of a transliteration of of the actual word for it, Rufalin.
Rohypnol.
Or
Right.
did I get that wrong?
Rohypnol, yeah, it's Rohypnol, I believe.
Rohypnol. Ha ha ha! Ox.
Hey, buddy, how you doing? It's my brother from another mother. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, no, and it would be
actually,
the word would be used as. Oh, go ahead, Purple.
Greg Hartwick was saying the high karate aftershave was 30% alcohol, and actually that was a thing from back during Prohibition. That people used to filter the aftershave through a loaf of bread to try and take out the toxins so they could drink the alcohol.
I remember somebody taking their clone and putting it into their motorbike, so it would act as nitro.
Yeah, I can see it having the kick like that.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, that is true.
Nitro does not have a kick. Nitro works because it drops the differential temperature between the intake and the exhaust, and therefore allows more air molecules into the cylinder to be compressed. And when it's ignited, it pushes harder than a non-nitrous situation.
You just thought it was because
and it also provides oxygen.
I am so happy to have learned
about
how nitro works. Thank you.
Yeah, and
the other thing that nitrous does is if you take a branch off of what's feeding your air intake and you lead it to the driver's mask, they have a much better time in it too.
Yeah, fun because it causes flames to shoot out of his exhaust.
Yeah.
Hey, Ox, that would require me having thighs to tickle. Do I have any volunteers? Okay, that's what I thought. And here we are.
Ox should volunteer.
That's why I don't have any.
Sorry, Beck, love you like a bro, but you're not my type for that.
Yeah, it's okay. I get it. I'm really picky about my type too. She's got to be like a short, dark-haired, dark-skinned, dark-eyed. Yeah, so basically I'm trying to find an Indian woman or a Hispanic lady. That's what I'm trying to do. Or hey, I'm not picky. I like black women too. Don't get me wrong. I just like them a little lighter skinned. I just have that one skin tone I like. I don't know. She just left us.
Keep digging that grave. No, I don't know.
Some Thai women might fit that criteria.
Yeah, but I don't like the eyes. I know, it's weird. I don't like Asian women's eyes, but I don't like I don't like white people's eyes either because I'm always looking for some ethnic chick.
I really don't have a specific type so much. It's more, just kind of a holistic thing of how the whole package goes together.
By the way, I would like to comment on Jenny's name here. No hitting trans people allowed. But I would say hitting non-trans people, yes.
Well, that's very different.
Yes.
It is very different. But I want to make it explicitly clear that we welcome that kind of behavior here.
Well, actually, we'll just put jerk. Because if someone's not trans, right? And they're not deserving of getting smacked, you don't smack people who are not deserving.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there are good cis people. Let's not put them all down. We need the allies. Let's not overgeneralize.
No, we need cis people. We need cis people to create more trans and gay people for us. They're doing such a great job. Don't stop them now.
Well, I mean, there's still plenty of trans people who can create more people. And are willing. I should be clear. I should be clear. And are willing. Because obviously not everyone.
The blurb that's going around on Twitter, a news blurb that somebody did a legitimate survey study, whatever they called it, and found that Republicans are more in demand to look at trans porn than anyone else.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
I know.
it's not really news at this
Well,
point.
we all suspected it, but now there's actual numeric proof.
Well, yeah, they've been fetishizing trans people all along.
Fuck it off.
See, that's why they're
just
self-loathing holes.
That's a fair start.
I think they're just mad because they can't date us because it would ruin their entire social life and their family structure. That's what I think it is. So because they're mad, they're just going to take it out on us because their life sucks and they're vanilla. Not my problem.
I use that information to every public situation I'm in where I'm having to defend trans people against some phobe. Is I mentioned that to him. I said, your people demand trans soft porn more than any other people on earth. What is your problem?
There's something related to that too. There was, if you look at where Trump increased the vote over what Romney got, and then you go to where the Google searches for things related to insecure masculinity, there's a correlation between Trump voters and insecure masculinity. That's why they go for the over-the-top, mean-spirited bully, because they think that's more masculine, whereas in healthy cultures, well, let's find one of the most feminine, almost like gay characters in the history of all literature, Jesus Christ. Now, he was allowed to have emotions, right? He was allowed to cry when his friends died. And then there's some letters from Abraham Lincoln to some of his male friends where if you read them, you would swear that they were romantically involved. And I have a friend, right, on myself. I have a friend in real life. There's no physical attraction whatsoever. But the cell phone seems to think we got the hots. And that's because you can have really good friendships without physical attraction.
Okay.
But the cell phone thinks we got the hots.
Well, damn it. Cell phones as a matchmaker, huh?
Yeah.
Now we know why they invented them.
Maybe this is the advantage I have, where I barely ever contact people with my phone or otherwise. In fact, I usually miss a lot of calls. I'm just like, cool. Now my cell phone isn't bothering me about this or that. I'm like, whatever.
Oh, it's right on my outgoing message that I don't carry my phone with me, so you'll have to leave a message.
Yeah.
I never ever answer my phone. I wait till find out if I know the person.
Yep. And people get annoyed with me for not having my phone on me all the time, but it's like, yeah, fuck it. Now that I'm not working anymore, I don't have to do that. When I was working, the cell phone wasn't for me. It just made me more convenient to other people, and I got sick of that real fast.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I drive professionally, so I can't answer that thing or even touch it really if I am, driving. So people can't get a hold of me during certain times.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's even if it's not even necessarily phone calls per se. It's just being readily contacted. So even text messages or messages on social media, I'm just like, I don't know. Stop expecting me to answer every message you have. I'm like, well, mind you, in recent months, I've been going kind of the opposite extreme where I've just been not messaging anyone back, but that's more of a me problem than anything. I need to apologize, but I just can't be arsed.
Yeah, well, to me, that was the whole point of text messages.
I'm the same way, TB2 me.
A text message is supposed to be something that you didn't need to talk to the person right away. It'll wait a couple hours until you get back to them. I thought that's what the purpose of them was. And great
Yeah.
thing, man is back in the hospital again.
No, the purpose of cell
Ah,
phones
fuck.
is to bother Dick Dawson on Discord. That's just a joke.
Oh.
Well, I actually have 2 cell phones because I haven't let my family know that I got my new one. So they only have the number for the old one.
Ah. So when that one rings, you know to approach with trepidation.
Actually, that one, I actually only power it up about twice a week to check for messages. Most of the time it's shut down.
Even better.
I just have an iPhone for tracking, for using this, and then I have the Android for everything else. I need to get a better setup so that I don't have to physically hold my microphone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even my phone, I don't like using the phone anyway. So basically, it's for if Slothgrl needs something for me and to schedule my doctor's appointments. That's about 99% of my phone use.
Well, I don't like talking on my cell phone, but I don't like talking on the phone at all unless it's somebody that I know really well. If it's not someone that's close to me, I don't want, like Demon Orb. I don't really know them. I wouldn't want to sit there and talk on the phone to them. You know what I mean? It'd have to be somebody closer to me. So I love text messages. Please text me. I do not want to talk to you. I'm just not a phone person. I never have been. Probably because I grew up not being on the phone because, just not a phone person.
Well, I grew up
was
with
never
one
one of
phone
the
in the
Margarets
house,
that
and you
sat
got
on the
yelled
phone
at
for
if you
4
were on it
hours.
for more than 3 minutes.
Yeah, well, that might be part of it, Purple, because when I was growing up, my sisters were on the phones. They were like between them and Mom, nobody else was touching that phone. So that's probably part of it. I never called
I
anybody.
grew up with a dozen
and if I
people
did,
in
I
the
was a
house and only one
teenager, and it
phone
was
line,
like just to meet up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, same with us. We had a party line. We had an old lady down the street that loved to talk that was on a party line with us. And my mom would literally have to pry her off the phone to call like my sister got in a car wreck and was in the hospital. And my mom was trying to call the doctor while she was preparing to go to the hospital. And that lady wouldn't get off the phone, and she had to yell at her and say, "Listen, my daughter got in a car accident. I need to talk to her doctor now." And finally, the lady was like, "Oh, okay,
just one more minute.
I'll get off the phone." And she said, "No, now."
Minute.
And she sat there. I'm not hanging up. And then finally, they both hung up.
Oh my goodness gracious!
If I was your mom, I would
she
have
was some
just
90-year-old
started
lady.
singing something rotten into the phone until the other one got off.
Oh no, my mom was like a literal saint, like the kindest. She would never do that. The fact that she raised her voice to that lady, we all looked at her and our jaws dropped. Like, Mom never spoke to anybody like that. Like, she had to be pissed, So we were like, "Oh shit," Mom's
she meant business there. She meant business.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my mom was a softie. She didn't. So that's why I knew when she yelled at us and spanked us, like, we fucking needed it. We were little assholes. And there was one parent with 6 children running around, so I don't blame her for spanking me.
Well, good disciplinary parents.
I have no trauma
have
from that.
Punishments at crime.
Well, the thing about the reason I was never hurt by my mom. Oh, go ahead.
In other words, you curse, you too much, you get the mouth washed out with soap, you have timeouts, and then for the big stuff comes the switch, where the parent can say, "This hurts me more than it does you," and if the parent starts enjoying it, they need to stop, because the discipline's for the benefit of the child, not the parent.
And that's what I was about to say. The reason that my mother spanking us never traumatized any of us is because she would literally cry afterwards. She did not want to do it. And it was only 3 swats. She didn't go crazy or nothing. But she knew that we were not going to listen. And she had to do something. And she did not want us running around like a wild bunch of idiots. So, and that's what would have happened when you have one parent and that many kids. It's hard for that one parent to keep track of all those kids by themselves, you know? So I don't blame her a bit. I mean, I didn't spank my child. I swatted him on the ass when he had a diaper one time to get his attention, but it was the sound of the diaper, not the pressure of the hand, that got his attention. But, yeah, so none of us ever did that. None of us, my sister did, but the rest of us, we didn't beat our kids or, you know, discipline them like that because, you know, we have more tools these days. We know more about psychology. We know more about the inner workings, so we can handle it different these days. But back then, I just feel like they had no tools. It's just those are the tools they were given, you know. And now we know better.
When I was growing up, I got blamed for a lot of stuff I didn't do. I got away with a lot of stuff I did do. So there was never any real connection between my actions and being punished.
Oh,
it was, you know, completely random there. So,
yeah, no, I got blamed for a lot of stuff my brother did. The abusive one, of course.
Okay,
and boy,
Sammy
they believed him every time.
Has gone on too long and is knocking the keyboard out of my lap again.
It's only been an hour and a half.
Yeah. Yeah, but he wants lap time.
Well, that's how I figured out how to give Molly her nail trimmings. I have to put her in my lap and hold her.
Yeah, Sammy just won't let me hold his paw still long enough.
And last time I did, she actually seemed to almost enjoy it. She was sitting there licking at me.
Yeah, well, she's
my
still
cats
kind of
are
young,
so
you
used
can
to
get
it
her
they don't
used
fight
to it.
me anymore.
Yeah, Sammy just has a real aversion to me touching his paws.
Damn it.
If you use peanut butter, you can get a dog to do anything.
I did get some of those.
No, that's true.
Kong
Cats
peanut
are
butter.
different. They'll just tell you, "Fuck you."
Yeah, but you gotta watch which peanut
There
butter
you
you use, because some of the sweeteners and some of the ingredients they put in peanut butter are not good.
The xylitol, but I got the Kong peanut butter. It's basically dog peanut butter, and it's like comes in like a cheese whiz can.
Mm-hmm.
I squirt some out on my finger and I smeared it on her nose, and she walks around trying to lick it off her nose.
There you go. Keep her busy.
Yeah, kids are busy for a couple minutes.
That's great. I'm glad you got her. Buddy.
I always
sounds like you're really happy.
Yeah, it definitely has improved my mood.
Fill my index finger up with peanut butter and then give it to the dog, and as she comes and starts to lick it, you put your finger in her mouth and rub it on the top of her roof of her mouth.
Roof of the mouth. Yep.
Well, we used to just give our dog peanut
busy
butter
for 10 minutes too.
Yeah, we just gave our dog peanut butter and crackers, and inevitably that always got stuck to the roof of his mouth.
My dog just got whatever leftovers there were. She'd just eat all of it. She ate green beans and meat, and she didn't fucking care. We'd feed her anything, and she was a healthy fucking dog. She was a farm dog, you know. She was healthy as hell. But on the flip side of that, everything we fed her was homemade by hand from scratch by my mother. So there was no bad ingredients in anything. It was all healthy, you know. We didn't have any fake food in our house.
You know the difference between peanut butter and an elephant?
Well, one's gray.
Peanut butter and an elephant?
Yep.
The consistency? I don't know.
Well, first of all, remind me to never send you to the grocery store. But elephants don't stick to the roof of your mouth.
No, that's true. That's true, Purple. It is impossible for an elephant to stick to the roof of our mouth.
Perp, here's one for you. How does an elephant come?
I'm afraid to ask.
Ask his girlfriend.
In quartz.
Oh my god. Probably.
Well, I mean, fair.
Yeah.
I guess.
Somebody look it up. There's probably an average amount of
No,
ejaculation.
not looking that up.
adult
Not looking that up.
Yeah, I'm sure you
Average-
can
Come
find
on,
it.
I don't want to look it up.
Amount of L.
Basically, if you weren't on a watch list already, you are now.
3
Unless you use
liters.
DuckDuckGo.
3 liters?
Okay, so
3 liters.
so yes, literally more than 3 quarts.
Oh my god.
Now you know.
That's fucking insane. Oh. Yeah, I think I could have gone without knowing that. I shouldn't have asked.
Okay, well, if that's what you get from an elephant, how much do you get from a blue whale?
Blue whale, let's see.
Oh my god.
Ocean.
Yeah,
That
I
explains
think
why
this
there's
is going to
some
be
weird
like on the scale of an
floating
oil
in the
drum.
ocean sometimes. Yeah, right. That's what I'm thinking.
20 liters.
How much?
20
How
liters.
many?
20.
20 liters.
20 liters.
Well, yeah, relative to their size.
What is that in
that's really not
gallons?
that much more. That's about 5 gallons. 5 to 6
I was going to say it's
gallons.
5, right? Yeah, okay. Well, because liter's a little off, so.
Yeah. Well, 20 quarts would be 5 gallons,
From
so it's
quart.
5 gallons plus a bit extra. Like an
Yeah,
extra pint or something.
5 1/4 gallons. A little over.
1 liter is about just under 34
so
ounces.
another quart. So 5 gallons and a quart. Wow. I know, that's what I was saying, Ox. Now we know what that weird floaty stuff is in the ocean that they couldn't figure out.
Actually, there
what's
was
the
a
size of their
phenomena that they
sperm?
blamed on that. There was a sea foam phenomena that people had wondered about, and it actually did turn out that it only showed up right after a mass breeding of this one particular species of fish.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
It was actually the slime that the females were secreting around the eggs floating to the surface.
Oh.
That sounds better.
I mean,
than the other
I would assume that makes more sense to me because I would I would have assumed
it was like these little fish that were only the size of your thumb, but there were like so many of them, you know, congregating in one place that you would get these patches that were like an acre of this foam.
Ugh. Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
marine biology, everyone. That's what this is about. We're talking about marine biology.
Maybe fish could be squirters. I don't know.
Oh, you get the salmon. They just kind of squirt the eggs.
Anybody ever see turtles copulate?
Haven't seen them actually have sex, but I have seen a turtle
Say
penis
again?
before.
Has anyone seen a turtle
penis?
turtle
No, I have not.
copulate?
I've seen the tortoises try to hump
I
each
mean,
other.
like online. I've seen a duck penis. That's the weirdest thing in the fucking world.
What is this conversation? What is it?
I don't know. I think the turtle penis is pretty.
We
odd
never
compared to
know.
the-
That's the point.
I never
said
had
what
one
penis?
turtle penis.
I heard that some incels have been asking
Oh no.
various genetic researchers if they could be crossed with a duck for the penis shape.
Oh
You know,
my
those
God.
incels are pretty weird.
Oh.
I don't know. I think it'd be pretty strange for a guy to have a curly Q dick. So it looks like a fucking curly fry.
So the head of the The head of
It's
the trophy
funny
is
because,
just
you
like
know,
a big foot.
The first time I ever saw curly fries, I thought of a duck penis. Swear to God.
Damn it.
When they first came out, when they first invented them, or whatever, first time I ever saw them, I was like, oh my God, this is like a duck penis.
There's your mental for the day.
When did they invent the duck penis?
I believe it was a Tuesday.
No, the curly fries.
Oh!
I said when they invented the curly fries. Jay.
Okay.
Where's Matt Pig when we need his info? Yeah, fair question.
Ox, I have to ask what you were doing digging up turtle eggs.
Yeah, why leave the turtles alone?
Knowing
him, he was probably saving
aren't they
them.
pretty much all protected species at this point?
Oh, Ox, tell me you weren't digging up sea turtles' eggs.
Well, before Ox answers, my first assumption was that I can imagine conservationists could potentially dig them up to protect them from predators, but I don't know. I don't know how that works.
That's what I was saying. Like sometimes they move them and stuff too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what he's talking about. Is moving the nests when they're on public beaches.
Okay. Yeah. So
yeah, no, I knew that's what he meant because I've never heard of.
I figured with Ox, some kind of conservation effort, but
do you know how many sea turtles are endangered? Almost all of them. And environmentalists and turtle rescue places are asking people, do not dig up turtle nests and eggs. Yes, they know that they're delicious and all these things, but it's just those things will have a whole clutch of eggs and maybe one will survive to adulthood.
Yeah, some species have up to 300 eggs, and like you say, only 1 or 2 will survive to be old enough to breed.
I mean, I remember seeing like the documentary videos, like even just the crawl down the beach. Most of them don't survive that.
Oh yeah, half of them never make it to the water in the first place.
Yeah, but obviously, I understand that conservation efforts could certainly increase the percentage of survival there if they have like protected basically if they move them to protected beaches. They would make a point of like ensuring that the turtles, once they start hatching, or as much as that.
Well,
as
that's
much as
what
possible,
they do. Yeah.
I figured as much.
Yeah, that's
I figured as much.
What they do is they watch for them to start hatching, and then they all go down. They grab them and put them in the water so they don't die on the beach.
Well,
the problem with digging up the eggs is that the turtle will seek to go back to the beach it was born from, not where it was conceived.
Yeah.
And so there's that problem. The other problem is that a turtle's sexuality, its gender, male or female, is determined by the temperature of the dig that they're surrounded by as they develop in the egg. And right now, because of global warming, the eggs are getting over hot, and there's a too high of a percentage of which I
forget.
There's too many males.
Yeah,
there's too many males. Which is true in almost any situation.
Well, then they're going to die off soon because this planet is not going to get any cooler anytime soon.
The Kemp's Ridley is especially endangered. Greens are endangered. Loggerheads, I believe, are also.
Yeah, all of those are definitely on the endangered species list.
Well, in humans, actually, there are generally more females than males, so it's about even.
Yeah, well, in mammals, it really doesn't matter that much. Mammals, if you've got 1 male for every 10 females, the species will go on without even noticing. I mean, that's how, like bovines and horses do.
Oh, so are bovines and equines, are they naturally have a sort of an uneven sex split? I thought that was just from at least for bovines. I thought that was just because of farming purposes.
Well, I don't know if they're born that way or if it's just but the way the adult herds are constructed, it's usually just one male with 10 to 20 females.
See, that's maybe in cows, but in horses, yeah, there's a stallion that runs the roost. But while the stallion's busy with one, some of the younger males will go around and fuck the others.
Yep.
It's really deceptive of them.
Ox, I have to tell you, I have been to that aquarium, although it was in 2003 or 2004. But I've been to that aquarium. It's amazing and beautiful. It's a really nice aquarium.
An albino alligator. Wow.
Uh-huh.
So does that mean the alligator is all white?
That's like one of the...
Does that mean the alligator is all white meat?
I guess.
Oh.
No.
Oh boy.
White meat. Oh my god, John. Yeah, I missed you then.
That's neat, Ox. I've always wanted to work at an aquarium also. But
yeah, when I lived in Chicago, I had a charter membership to the Shed Aquarium. I used to like to go there all the time.
I've always wanted to work in raptor rescue too.
Oh, okay. Ox put a link in the side chat. He said that's a pic of the gator.
Oh, cool.
Pic of the gator.
I think he meant picture.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh my god, so fucking cool, man. That's cooler than I thought it was going to look. Wow. And golden eyes, how cool.
I know I've seen a video of one. I don't know if it was the one from that aquarium or...
Oh, there you go. Thanks, Mage.
Oh, okay. Let me make Mage's
that's
bigger.
Pretty fucking cool. There you go. Maybe Jenny could see it now.
Oh, wow. Boy, that makes some nice shoes, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't look
Oh
real.
my god.
Oh my god, that'd be the coolest fucking cowboy boots in the world.
And a lovely clutch purse, maybe? With matching shoes.
You're all horrible people. How dare you?
Yeah, now see, you were getting upset with Ox about the sea turtle eggs, and look what you're doing to like a one-of-a-kind specimen.
Well, but it's an alligator.
But everybody knows we're being smart asses, and we never do it. That's the difference.
Smart asses?
Albinos are sterile.
I don't know about the smart bit there.
Really?
Yeah, they should fuck him just to find out.
And
if he's sterile, well, at least they gave him a chance to have some fun.
That would be in the case of like albino alligators. I couldn't imagine why that would be an inherent quality of albinism in general.
Well, I could see it as being, frequent in albinos because it is a genetic mutation.
So fair enough.
It could then make the sperm cells or the eggs, incompatible with other ones.
Have you ever heard of Wally, the emotional support alligator?
Yeah, I think I've heard that once or twice.
Yeah,
don't know anything about it.
He's a friendly alligator.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah. Actually, you can hang out with kids.
That is absolutely foolish assumption for somebody to think that an alligator is going to be a good pet.
Yeah.
Alligators don't have enough brain to piss in a toilet, much less be friendly.
Well, apparently this one does.
Some kid's gonna show up to see the alligator smelling like rotten fish by accident.
The lowest
dad's
part
a
of our
fisherman,
brain,
and the alligator's gonna fucking eat him.
The lowest part of our brain that tends to make us all violent and nasty and hateful is called the reptilian brain.
Yep.
There's a reason for that.
But that's just what. Okay, but that doesn't. No. I mean, I know you're making a joke, but I don't like the implied logic there, because just because we call it the reptilian brain doesn't mean it necessarily has any correlation to the violent qualities of reptiles. because that is simply what the word we've decided to use. It does not mean that that part of our brain is actually reptilian necessarily. I'm sorry.
All I know is in my life, the smaller the brain of the creature in front of me, the more I fear it.
So,
which is why Donald Trump is terrifying.
Exactly.
Yeah, no shit. Hey, Ox, what percentage or whatever, how many albino gators are born per? Because I'm just curious, like how often they come around. I've never, like, that's the first time I've ever seen one. So I've heard of one before, like someone's mentioned that they exist, but
they should clone it.
They should. That'd be cool.
Then you get twice as many purses and shoes.
I knew that's what you were going to say.
I knew there was going to be something on the back end of that, because if there wasn't, it would not be Jenny.
They don't track every single one that's been born, but biologists have estimated around 100 in the world.
And that's out of a population.
Yeah. Well, I wonder what that is, as a percentage of the total population.
Don't know.
Yeah. I know albinism is also quite rare in humans too. I've actually met I've had a coworker who had not pure albinism, but like large percentage albinism. Like, so he produced a small amount of pigment, but his hair was basically a really light blonde, and his eyes. But anyway, yeah, like talked with him, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm albino, or at least mostly albino." It was kind of neat.
Yeah,
he had other health concerns too, of course, but so there's a long period of time where I didn't see him because he had to be off work in the hospital, but he came back.
It's important to remember that there's two types of white animals. There's a true albino, which is going to have pink eyes, and a white animal, which will have normal colored eyes.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Some are bred in captivity. Oh no! Oh no! I love it.
Great. Now I want a sourdough bread. Thanks for that, you guys.
Send me that in a DM. I want a copy of that.
Okay, I'll post it to one of the Twitter groups.
In Wisconsin, up in the what's the name of that? I can't remember the name of the area it is. In the Wausau area, maybe further north. There is a herd of white reindeer or deer, white-tailed deer. Yeah, white-tailed deer. They're not albino. They all have dark eyes, but they're all white. And it is absolutely forbidden to shoot one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I've heard about them.
I bet.
Ox is saying albino or leucistic. I'm not quite clear what the distinction is.
Leucistic? Well, I'm going to Google it and find out.
I've never even heard of the other term, so.
Yeah, neither have I.
Yeah,
leucistic means cute.
A white buffalo, and it's somewhere in Montana or the Dakotas, and they're keeping the location very secret because they don't want anybody going after it.
I love humans. Something really rare. Let's kill it.
Yeah.
Yep. Trophy hunters.
They will not release the
oh my God.
Location of the world's oldest tree, which is a pine. Starts with a J, some kind of pine, out in the southwest somewhere. They will not tell the position because they know somebody will go and try and go cut it down.
Of course they will.
Why are people so sick that way?
I don't know. They just have to have everything. It's like the oldest animal. This creature has lived. I'm gonna shoot it and make boots out. Like they literally think like that. I don't even understand it.
I ain't got no soul.
Okay, thank you, Ox. I never knew that word. I guess I should have figured there was a word for that.
Skin pigment patches.
But now I know.
Interesting. Okay.
Leucistic.
Damn. Ox laying down knowledge.
Ox is a smart guy.
Oh, no, he is. He really is. I never know what he knows, and it's just random shit like this, and I'm like, no way. How did you know that?
Oh, leucism. Oh, I see.
So those white deer must be leucistic then, because they have the regular black eyes. Okay.
Is it from a similar mutation
That's
or a completely different mutation that causes it?
Well, leucism is actually, it looks like it's an umbrella term. There's a lot of different conditions that can cause a leucistic appearance.
Ah.
Yeah, leucism is a I'm just reading Wikipedia right now. Wide variety of conditions that result in partial loss of pigmentation in an animal, causing white, pale, or patchy coloration of the skin, hair, feathers, blah, blah, blah. But not the eyes.
Is that anything similar to what happens with some African people where they have that light, like they have no melanin in their skin in certain areas?
By the way, Beck, not just African people. I know white people who have that condition.
Yeah.
It's just not as obvious, but it's not. My understanding is
I've never seen a white person with it. I've only seen black people. Okay. Well, I didn't know. I'm just saying
the only person I know IRL who has it is white. Again, it's just not as visually obvious on a white person.
I've never seen a white person with it.
Yep. I have.
Because your skin's already so pale. Exactly. I've seen. I've also seen Hispanic people that have it, but I've never seen a white person with it. So, I mean, I wasn't saying that wasn't possible. I was just saying
there's places in Africa where albino young men, African American. Oh, I'm not African. That's stupid. Black youngsters who are albino will be murdered for their organs because they have mystical beliefs about their organs if you consume them and stuff.
Yeah.
It's really sick.
Oh my God. Jesus. People just blow my mind.
I see that you changed your name, Jenny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. I'm only a turtle. Turtle.
That's cute.
That really is.
That's adorable. What a beautiful picture too.
I've got this picture I use for wallpaper that I found on Twitter. It's somebody with their hands holding out their hands together in front of them, and there's 3 baby turtles in their hands. And it's just so lovely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see that sometime.
I tell you,
be at the beach and see them hatching and making their way to the water.
I every spring around here,
tiny babies are cute.
I keep my eyes open because this is our turtle hatching time of the year for snappers.
Yep.
All other turtles hatch in the fall, and these guys hatch in the spring.
Beck, I will counter what you said with baby centipedes.
Huh?
Nope.
Beck said all babies are cute. And I will counter with baby humans.
Anything that's tiny.
I'll counter with all baby humans. I hate.
Here's the thing: is not all baby humans are cute. But the weird thing is usually the babies that are like the really ugly ones turn out to be beautiful people. It's weird. I don't know why. But I've had some ugly babies be born in my family, and now they are the most beautiful fucking humans. They were
Boulder Junction is the name of that Wisconsin area that has the deer.
Oh, okay.
Boulder Junction. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I've heard of that.
I know I've heard of it. I didn't quite know where it was.
I think there's a Boulder Junction in Colorado too. I'm not positive.
I'm sure there would be.
No, it's just Boulder, Colorado, not Boulder Junction. As far as I know, I've never heard of. There is another something junction, but I don't think it was Boulder.
Found an article on a girl with albinism and heterochromia.
Hey, Mark.
Albinism and heterochromia at the same time. Oh boy.
Yeah. That's an interesting looking combination.
Albino and heterochromic at the same time. Does that mean that they're checkerboard? Sorry.
Well,
I'd like to see
here's
that
the thing.
Actually.
This reminds me of quite some time ago. I had seen a little a mini television program regarding chimerism.
Interesting.
And oh wow,
she's 11 years old.
Yeah, she's not albino. Those eyes look blue to me.
Oh, she's
one blue, one brown.
Yeah.
Albino humans can have blue eyes.
Oh, I see.
She's heterochromia as well. It's albinism.
Yeah, so two different color eyes.
Wow.
Huh. Interesting.
She's very cute.
Her name is
she's beautiful.
Amina, I believe it's pronounced Amina. Amina.
Yeah, so it looks like the hair underneath came in brown and the hair on top came in white.
Yeah, I was looking at that too, Perps. Isn't that interesting?
She could probably make a lot of money when she's an adult and go into modeling.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that she has the slim structure for it too. She'd probably go right into modeling easy.
Yeah, having such a distinctive look.
Looks like she's Russian.
Yep.
If I'm reading this right.
Okay.
Oh well, then her life is over.
No.
Her life's fucked. She better get out of there. They'll probably experiment on her. No, I'm just kidding.
There just needs to be a mass exodus out of Russia of all the people who aren't shit.
There already is.
I know.
Actually, didn't Russia...
there's people fleeing Russia and Ukraine like crazy right now.
I don't know how true it is, but I heard something about Russia setting up a MAGA village.
Yep. Actually, Russia has been trying for about the past 4 years. They've been trying to target advertising at MAGA people to get them to move to Russia.
Really?
Trying to convince them, how good life is in Russia.
Well, considering some of the views that some MAGA people have, it might actually be not bad for them there. I say sarcastically.
Their hero, God, made all those bad movies. Steve, somebody or other. Steven Seagal is over there. He gave up his citizenship.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So she actually, same thing that gives her 2 eye colors also gives her 2 hair colors. Okay. I just saw what Ox commented on.
That makes sense.
The heterochromia.
Well, I've seen pictures of birds that have it, and they're literally divided down the middle. And one side is color, and the other side's not.
Yeah,
that's actually a result of being one side male and one side female.
Yeah, it's all part of the same situation.
Yeah. That's why I brought up the chimerism earlier, where you kind of have 2 sets of 2 or more sets of genetics in your body, and gosh, what was it? Yeah, so I've seen one picture where somebody, it's not complete, but like somebody has like almost a checkerboard like pattern like on their abdomen, from pigment, from having chimerism. Where it's like one side's one color, one side's the other, and then as they go up, there's a point where it swaps. And I'm not quite sure. I know there was an explanation. I can't quite remember why that was the case.
Well,
recently,
a chimera is usually somebody who has absorbed their twin in utero.
Yes.
There is a chimeric person in our group here. I won't name them because I don't think that's my business, but they define it that way too. That's what they explain happened to them.
That's what I
ultimately ended up being trans because what fucking doctors and medicine do to intersex kids at birth. They don't pay attention to what's going on.
Cuttlefish can do it voluntarily. It's a tactic that some cuttlefish will use that to get between a male and a female, they can actually split themselves down the middle and present one side to the male to look like they're female and present their other side to the female to look like they're male.
So they're pretty good at go fuck yourself.
Well, basically so that they can get in kind of below the radar of the dominant male and get closer to the female.
Okay.
There's actually a number of different fish I've heard of that, don't have the appearance thing like you're talking about there, but have learned to how to behave as a male or a female to get the chance to fuck.
Actually, my late fiance had described me as having a chameleon sexuality because I tended to do things like that. That whether I was coming across as more male or female was largely a function of who was in the room with me.
That seems interesting.
Yes.
Just trying to think of. God, my brain is not working right. I guess that's what I get for not sleeping properly.
Eat coffee. Coffee makes brain work good.
No coffee. Coffee makes me super anxious.
Well, there's your problem. You need coffee to make brain work good.
Actually,
I said coffee makes me super anxious. It's a problem. I don't want to have coffee.
It's a weird thing I don't quite understand, but especially for people with ADHD, they have found that giving them stimulants helps them sleep better.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. It's called a paradoxical effect, and there's a number of drugs, mostly stimulants, that do that.
Well, yes, Mark, a lot of women have talked about that.
Oh, boy. I have to drink coffee to go to bed. Yeah, I know people like that.
I don't have to, but I can.
It's actually
I drink some coffee. I'll sleep like a fucking baby.
Yeah, I'm trying to get reevaluated for the ADHD again and see if maybe they would try that on me, since I never sleep. But the waiting list for that.
Oh yeah, diuretic.
Well, they called me last week to tell me that I'd finally got to the point to have my name on the waiting list. And they expected it would be 3 to 6 months before I could see a psychiatrist to be tested.
Sabrina, you're the drug maven. I believe I heard that there's a new class of drugs that's starting to show up for insomniacs that does not operate like a sedative, like all the other kind of stuff that we have out there. That actually goes after the center of the brain that is responsible for sleep.
They're always doing research on new stuff, especially because sleep aid is like one of the big areas where there's money to be made. I'm not trying to be cynical right now, but that's just how it ends up sounding. But yeah, no, they are doing a lot. I don't know of the most recent ones. I haven't done much research yet, so I'm not super familiar. There are already sleep aids that aren't necessarily hypnotics, That is literally what they call them. That is the family of medication. Is a hypnotic.
Soporifics.
Soporifics, or soporific effects, but the sort of naming is like within the hypnotics category. I'm trying to think of the most recent ones that I know of is just like another isomer of an existing drug. Because I think it's Lunesta I'm pretty sure it's just S-zopiclone, and zopiclone is not a benzo, but it behaves kind of similar to a benzo, except it's just more of a sleep aid rather than an anxiolytic. B6 and B12 will wake your ass up. Will it?
I did not know that.
Did not know that.
Because I do take a B12 supplement. Maybe I'm taking
I take it before I go to bed.
Well, no, I think I'm taking that one in the afternoon, so it shouldn't be a problem.
I wonder if it has something to do with the fact that I don't know enough about like vitamin supplementation, but my understanding is some of the B vitamins have metabolism effects, so maybe that's why. So if you're stimulating the metabolism, that would obviously get your body going, so to speak.
My doctor put me on B12 because I don't eat much meat.
Yeah, I've been pretty okay. I think I've been pretty okay for B12. Right now, the main thing I've been deficient in is vitamin D and estrogen, which is why my doctor raised my dose, because my estrogen was low.
My doc actually does D studies in my blood every once a year, and I'm on D. I take D3, but I'm taking D3 for to help calcium absorption from for osteoporosis.
Jenny, if you were saying you said B12 because you don't eat much meat.
Yeah.
I would think if you're not eating much meat, the most likely thing would be a thiamine deficiency. I think that's B1.
I don't know. I know very little about vitamins.
Well, it might be something to ask your doctor about the next time they do a blood test to check the thiamine.
Yeah, good idea.
Because that does have an effect on, especially people feeling depressed. But thiamine is something that you can't get it from any plant. You actually don't even get it from animal tissue. It's only produced by an algae. But we wind up getting it from meat because, like, when cows and chickens drink the unfiltered water, then they wind up storing it in their muscle tissue.
We get it from them, or we make it ourselves because of them?
No, we get it from them. It's actually stored in the animal's muscle tissue from drinking the water with the algae in it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, you could get it yourself directly just by drinking pond water.
No thanks.
Well, they should set up cows with little taps on their ass that you can go and suck it really hard and get out some of their B1 or thiamine or whatever.
No, those are called bulls, and you don't want to do that.
I had 3 days off in a row, slept 10 hours each day, and it took 5 years off of my face.
Yeah, I can imagine. I sometimes have to have recharge days where I just stay in bed for 12 to 14 hours to just see how much I can sleep.
Mark, you are very correct at that. At this point in my life, as it comes to at the end of the ruler, I'd be happy with one.
Yeah, I'd like to be dating again too. But the hard part about dating is it requires you to actually be social and talk to people.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, my issue is that it's too expensive to go anywhere. Like, if I wanted to see the person I'm interested in, it's like I have to take a minimum $80 bus trip over to Montreal, and it's just like, I definitely want to book that, obviously, but it's just like, I'm poor.
You're in Toronto?
So is he, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm in Toronto.
So you're a communist.
What? I'm confused. I mean, yes, but like that's not because I'm a Torontonian. No, seriously though. Like, what is that coming from? I don't actually understand the joke.
Anything that's not white, conservative, and patriotic USA is communist.
Oh, okay. So just the fact that I'm Canadian in general. Okay,
Yeah,
fair enough.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were saying something specific about Torontonian. I'm like, oh, okay.
No, that's why you got those idiot truckers that think that they need to take over the government. All 75 or 100 of them.
Oh my god. It's funny. Well, I was so yesterday. I had to take an Uber to get to my endo appointment. And while we were driving there, I saw somebody with a big sign inside their back window. And what did it say? Fringe Citizen. And it had like a little maple leaf, like Canadian, like red maple leaf in the corner. And so I'm like, My first assumption was going to be some sort of a sovereign citizen bullshit. Wasn't exactly that. But it. Here's the thing. So this person is. I bring this up because you mentioned the truckers, and so they had a. When I looked up Fringe Citizen, it showed me a Twitter page of theirs. Let me look this up again because I'm kind of curious. It showed me a Twitter page. Fringe Citizen: any citizen who believes in the right to choose, has the courage to be themselves, who leads with love and mutual respect for all. And I'm like, that initial line, I'm like, this could almost be good. I'm like, there was something suspicious, but the line there, especially the right to choose, I'm like, right to choose what exactly? So this is one of those like MAGA loving Canadian kind of things. So right to choose to have weapons, of course, and everything else. It's just like, it's ironic that the words that they use are pretty much
dog whistles.
They're well. The funny thing, they're not necessarily dog whistles, because some of those lines are like, has the courage to be themselves. I'm like, that can be a very good thing, like just an unironically good thing. I mean,
right, but
that is something I might put in my Twitter profile. Like, I have the courage to be myself because I'm trans and out and proud.
That's how they grab
exactly. But I was suspicious about them just because, like, the fact that they call themselves Fringe Citizen, just that it has some implication, that and the fact that they specifically include the maple leaf in their image, because that's sort of like subtle patriotism, and anything that has any spanking of patriotism is suspicious to me, because nationalism is just a few steps away from fascism. Like, there is no good nationalism. I'm sorry, everyone. There is no good nationalism. Fuck You're you right. all if you think there is. Because we shouldn't even have We shouldn't even have nations. Like, we shouldn't. Borders should be open. Anyway, whatever. I'm going really, really hard left right now. Anyway, right. The actual point I was going to make, though. So, as I say, like, I pulled up this person. I'm pretty sure the person driving that car was the one who has this Twitter account. It's not like they were some sort of fan. But it was interesting that they're, like, specifically advertising that way, of, like, having this. Because, like, it wasn't just in the window. As I looked more, it was like they had, like, bumper stickers and everything related to this shit. So they're trying to get people's attention. They've only got 2 followers. I don't do anything of a particular note. I have significantly more followers than them. I don't even do stuff on Twitter. And it's just like, this person has all this. It made me curious enough to look them up. But it's like, yeah, you ain't getting any attention whatsoever. A rando who's not even trying has, like, a lot more attention than you. Like, okay, let me see. I've got, like, 76 followers. Now, most of it is you guys. Mostly my friends. But, like, even still, I have a lot of friends compared to this kind of individual.
Yeah, we've got a Trump super fan here. Go ahead, Jenny.
Do we?
That's an odd thing.
Well, I really can't. You know how upset I get. I get when people put down my leader, my president.
He's not currently your president, though.
Donnie is, pretty much the messenger from God, and is going to lead
the new Messiah
and lead our people into a perfect God implemented government, so that we are.
If I may cut in for a moment, I've read a little bit about this God guy. From his self-published book, after all, known as the Holy Bible, and so you say Trump is his chosen one kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
I read God's book, and I'm just like, he's kind of a really shitty person. I wouldn't want his chosen one to be a leader, because he believes in a lot of crazy shit.
I think the Bible makes a lot more sense if you believe it was written by Satan to be a slur campaign on Yahweh.
Well, I would also argue the Bible makes a lot more sense if we understand that God is the villain. Well, I do like that smear campaign idea, though, don't get me wrong. But it's I look at all the things, look at all the requirements, and it's how do you believe this God is good? Clearly he's evil. I mean, if you accept that he's evil, that would be a much more compelling argument to be yeah, you should believe, because he's going to fuck you up otherwise. I'm you know what? Yeah, I don't want to be fucked up. That would make more sense. That would be more persuasive. Hey, but you have to present this lies, oh, well, he actually means the best for you. I'm okay, so why do I have to do all this shit if he cares?
My basic morality test. Have you ever performed or ordered a genocide? If no, then you are more moral than the God of the Bible.
Well, I know that.
Yeah. Interesting how there's a disturbingly large amount of people, even alive today, who would fail that test.
I heard on NPR yesterday, it was talk about religion, and they're talking about now the number of Americans interested in religion has dropped even further. So there is hope.
Yeah, well, from the most recent polls, I think it was from Pew Research, that we're just at the point of about 1/4 of the U.S. population, do not subscribe to any organized religion.
Yet, basically, 100% of the Senate is. Anyway, religious people are overrepresented in American politics. We all know this.
Yeah.
Even when nuns, NONS, nuns, far we're not obviously outnumbering, but it's a sizable population. We've got virtually no representation. Well, I should say you, because I'm not in that country, but you've got virtually no representation.
Yeah, virtually no representation. It would be virtually impossible to get elected to a federal office in any state.
To a federal office, yes. I have heard of cases in smaller offices where atheists have been able to get in, which I think is really cool. But yeah, my understanding of the political climate, and that's close to the same thing here. I don't think it's quite as bad, but generally most of our elected representatives subscribe to some sort of religion, or at least profess to. Or others might just leave it unstated and let people assume you're religious. But thankfully, in spite of that, just because you're religious doesn't mean you're necessarily evangelical. So, not all religious people are shit in my books.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, it being an ex-evangelical, it's been kind of interesting now exploring the world from a different perspective here, because I'm really coming to appreciate just how skewed my perspective on Christianity was. Like, I thought evangelical thought, like strict evangelical thought, was like the standard.
Sorry.
The standard for Christianity, and then there was deviation. Like, obviously, I know Baptists weren't the first. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't that naive, even if I was naive. But I thought, like, yeah, we're the ones following it true. The Catholics and the Orthodox got a little too hung up on procedure or whatever, or ritual, I guess might be the other word you might use. And then there were some like other liberal Christians. Pardon me? Sorry?
The Catholics love theatrics.
Yeah, but like I'm just sort of, or that was the perspective I had, was that it's like most of the Christians, Catholics notwithstanding, most of the Christians were generally like reading the Bible and having a personal relationship with God, which is that particular detail, by the way, is what makes them is the main thing that defines evangelicalism. But I thought that idea, that evangelical idea, I thought that was the majority. I am so wrong. I was so wrong about that. And learning that I was wrong about that has been very interesting, because it also means I don't have reason to be nearly as antagonistic with people who call themselves Christian than I realized, because most people who are Christian, at the end of the day, they're not actually going to fuck with us very much. Like most of my colleagues are Christian or whatever. Like, one's Catholic, one's my boss is Orthodox, Greek Orthodox, and it's like they've been totally cool with like using my preferred name and pronouns and stuff like that, and just accepting me for who I am. And that's almost surprising, but it's like, no, that's just pretty standard fare. It's like the average Christian is pretty like, yeah, I live in a world. I live in 2023. I know I got to treat people with respect. Like, it's just a lot of people don't actually get hung up on all like the gay bashing shit. The vast majority of people don't actually want to do that. It is the incredibly loud minorities who, and while I still think there's shit in the Bible, and honestly, you still don't have good reason to believe it, I've come to accept that it's like, okay, it is not representative of the vast majority of people. And yes, these people are giving Christians a bad name, and I've come to peace with that, basically.
The Southern
weird turnaround.
Southern Baptists make up only about 7% of people in the United States, but they are clearly running our government.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the majority of the U.S. are Protestants who are socially moderate.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them really don't care too much about what other people do.
I've got a end times Christian fanatic who's on my case on Twitter, where I made some little comment, a couple laugh emojis at something he posted, and he's been jumping on me with all these Bible verses and stuff, and I just respond with things like, yeah, that's okay if you believe all that crap. It's just, he doesn't like it.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And the one thing I always wonder if, like, you quote scripture at an obvious non-believer. I'm like, what do you expect to happen? Like, the arrogance.
I think some of them actually expect it to work like a magical incantation of some kind.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It worked that way on them, but they also drool when they aren't talking.
Well, here's the thing, and what this is the one thing I find the most absurd, and this is one of the main points that helped me get out, was it didn't work on them. They're not believing because of shit they read in the Bible. None of them are. Well, that's not true. I can't say none of them are. I'd say a good portion of them were not believing because of stuff they read in the Bible, because there are converts and other things. I would say the vast majority of them are believing because it's what they were raised to believe. That's how I was. I grew up to Baptist parents. They are still Baptists, not Southern Baptists, by the way. There is an important distinction there, because, in fact, when I've the few times we've had conversations about it and about like doctrinal differences, non-Southern Baptists don't have very nice things to say about Southern Baptists, and for multiple reasons. But regardless, there are still a lot of similarities. I mean, they're not both Baptists for no reason, but like there is a reason that they are separated from each other, kind of thing. But yeah, like my parents were Baptist, they raised us, and like I genuinely believed, because I mean, when everything around me is just raised with this as a given, I take it as a given and I accept it as a given, kind of thing. And then I would learn about all the other stuff in the Bible, but by the point that I started actually reading stuff in the Bible, at least the first time around, I was already loaded to accept that this is a factual document. I was already primed to accept that. So I'm not going to read it as something that is trying to persuade me. I'm reading it as something to learn about what the world is about, kind of thing. And that's why it's so easy, in spite of some of the air quotes crazy stuff that are in the Bible, that's why it can be so easy for some people to read it and not notice any of the bad shit. Like, I know my mom, she's read the Bible all the way through, and I know she's not skipping. She's read the Bible all the way through, like dozens of times, lots of times. I know my dad has done the same thing, maybe not quite as much. I don't know if he's as particular about it, but I know my mom has been particular about it. Where like she'll make like an annual thing or something like that, where she'll like read the whole Bible in 1 year, and like segments that have been cut out and everything. And I'll bring up certain weird things, like about the points regarding the Bible's fairly explicit support of slavery. And the fact that there isn't an immediate, like, okay, I know what you're talking about, but it's actually about this. Because my mom is actually honest about these things, unlike other people I've talked to. My mom is honest. She won't honestly like say, no, it's something else. Like she would go and do research first before she gives such a hand-wavy answer. But she's like, I don't remember anything like that. And I believe her. I believe she didn't remember that. And I also believe she read the passages I was talking about. I both things exist simultaneously. She read those passages, the ones that support slavery, and she doesn't recall reading passages that support slavery. Yeah, and it's not that she necessarily forgets, it's just that when she read it, she's already primed to analyze it in a particular way, and so it does not process that way. And yeah. And I definitely prefer her answer over some other answers I've gotten from other individuals where, as I say, they're like, oh no, there's a lot of different excuses that, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Apologists and such will give. But I appreciate the people who are like, oh, no, I didn't, what, really? Oh, okay, I gotta go read. Like, even if they come back and then give some sort of unsatisfactory answer, they didn't knee-jerk say, no, you're wrong. And that's what I like about my mom. Even if she still believes this stuff, at the very least, she's not a liar. She's not intentionally
There you go. Yeah, I feel like most Christians... Go ahead, finish.
Go ahead. I was going to say, it's the reason why she was the one I was willing to come out to.
Yeah, I can get that. No, I feel like most Christians are just like think that they're so right that they're going to tell us like 3 or 4 or 5 sentences and we're going to go, oh my God, you're right. I was wrong this whole time. Like they literally think that.
And
like,
it's too bad.
Well, Yeah.
Well,
it's about time you realize that they're back.
Yeah, it's just too bad. It's too bad that they lack even if it's too bad that they lack the self-awareness to realize what persuaded them, because even if knowing what persuaded them doesn't make them question it, if they realize like, oh, it's because I grew in the church before really reading the Bible, even if it doesn't make them think maybe this is bullshit, at very least understanding that that's why they believe, if they try to persuade others, maybe they'll try and use the same kind of persuasion technique, and like that at least be a more honest and respectful way of doing it, because it's like quoting random scripture at you which didn't even persuade them. To expect others to get persuaded by that is incredibly disrespectful, whether they realize it or not. It's like, I didn't even find this persuasive, so I'm going to expect that you're persuaded by it. Like, no, that's not why you believe. That's not why I'm going to believe, kind of thing. If you want to persuade me, give me what you got. Give me what made you believe, what actually made you believe, and then we can actually start having a conversation.
Well, the thing is that, most people, like you say, they grew up with it. They were born into it. Yeah. And people they don't question things that they were taught like before they were 5 years old.
Nope.
That's just part of their base knowledge. It never occurs to them to ask, why do I believe this? If it's something that they believed before they were old enough to actually have, rational thoughts on their own.
I believe in God because God said I should.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of the other things that really got to me. Was,
why do you believe in the Bible? Because of the Bible.
Yeah, the circularity of it. That was one of the big things that really got to me. And it's like,
yep.
Because one of the ways I approached it.
What about the Bible? Well, God, no.
It's like, well, why do I doubt, or why is this, or why is that? And a lot, like when it comes to certain negative things, but like, why am I doubting? And I appreciated, and I shared this with the elders too. Like, I appreciated that, like, my knee-jerk reaction in response to personal doubt is I'm being made to doubt because of Satan. But if that is the case, the only reason that there is a Satan to make me doubt is presuming that this is real. But and so obviously it's like it's self-supporting. So if in this circumstance this wasn't true, then it's not Satan making me doubt. And like both scenarios are equally able to coexist with the feelings and experiences that I'm having. The feelings and experiences that I'm having cannot be isolated to one of the scenarios. I'm talking about like unfalsifiability. I did not have the language for it at the time, of course.
Yeah.
I did not have any of the language for it. The best I could come up with was circular, and I couldn't even properly articulate how it was a circle. I still can't, but that's just more of a words problem on my part.
Part of the training that, if there's something in the Bible you find troubling, then you're just not understanding it, and you need a priest to explain it to you.
Yeah.
Or you're filled with demons.
Yeah, thankfully I didn't get that. I don't think I got much of any of that.
Remember, folks,
there
are modern day churches here in America, and I'm sure that they extend over into Canada too, who actually believe in demons, who actually believe that for example, if you're trans, that you are filled with demons, and that the only way to get that taken care of is to beat them out of you. Physically beat them out of you.
I love how
any religion that recommends that for any reason, I don't consider a legitimate religion on any level.
Well, there's these little white demons that I'm sure people beat out of themselves quite often.
I was going to go a slightly different direction, but similar nonetheless. By the way, yes, they are. Yes, groups like that do exist in Canada. But thank goodness, with a year and a half ago, we nationwide banned conversion therapy. Yay! I'm still happy about that. Now, there's a lot of individual states that have bans on conversion therapy, so it's not like you guys are completely. Mm-hmm. Maine has, I think, also has restrictions. I think Stephanie told me that. Anyway, the joke I was going to make is something about demons inside of you. I'm like, I'd love to have some demons inside of me. Like, have you seen Lucifer from the series Lucifer? Like, would you not want that one inside of you? Absolutely. Oh my god.
Jeez, maybe that's where I've been going wrong.
Yeah. Actually, you know, it's funny because like I just started watching Lucifer, or started rewatching, because I only got like first through season, and then I dropped it a long time ago because I got busy, and I started watching it again with my friend Will. And one thing I remember regarding the character of Lucifer is like his sort of power is that he can get people to tell them, like, sort of like compel them to tell him what they desire. And I just had this sort of like scenario imagination of like he comes up to one person, like say a male presenting individual, and basically says like, "What do you desire?" It's like, I really just wish I was a girl, kind of thing. Like sort of have a trans character in that scenario, and I'm just imagining what his reaction would be like, and just considering what the character has behaved as, I can imagine being like, "Let's get that done."
Yeah, we can help you with that.
Right. We can help you with that.
Sabrina,
honestly,
I'm listening to what you're saying here, and I'm thinking back to my own life and the lives of so many trans people that I've talked to, of how we were when we were children, and then sometimes even into late childhood and early adulthood, that we spent so many nights praying to God to have it change us. And of course, never happens. But that ended up being the tool for me, one of the major tools to why there is no God. And and it's interesting to me that there are lots of trans people who still claim to be very spiritual and are very Christian, and yet they're trans, and I just don't understand how they can rationalize that.
Yeah, and similar here, where I don't understand how they can rationalize it, which is why I'm not like going to repeat the whole spiel I went on earlier, but sort of realizing that I'm sort of attributing my incredulity to that sort of contradiction there as being, I'm only interpreting Christian, or I only understand Christian in the way that I was Christian, and not appreciating that there are sects of Christianity, some like very liberal sects of Christianity, that are just like, yeah, trans people are totally okay. They exist. I don't even. They even have a decent amount of congregants and everything. I can't remember which denominations these are off the top of my head, but they absolutely exist. It's not just trans people who are like worshiping on their own or reading the Bible on their own, though those exist too. It's like, no, there are actual congregations who are like, yes, you are explicitly validated. We explicitly validate you. And I'm like, and then on top of that, we give you the sense of community and other stuff that a lot of people seek from churches and don't necessarily know what other avenues to get those from, kind of thing. Group of friends here. We have our all friends. Yeah, every Christian has a different doctrine. Absolutely, Mark. Absolutely, you're totally correct there.
I know that there are trans people who are in the Lutheran religion. It's the only one I have personal contact with. Here in our area, the next town over, with a Lutheran church. She is trans and is the pastor.
Neato.
And so it's pretty obvious that sect of that religion is good with it.
Yeah, actually, the trans support group I've been going to meets at a church, and the pastor of that church is an openly gay man.
Wow, so much queerness in the church. I love it.
Well, it does. I mean, I know that I rank on religion a great deal in my Twitter comments and things. And every time I do it, I know that I'm probably offending somebody I know and like. I realize that not all Christians are the same, and there's many who would like to have me dead, but there's many others who value my life as an average human being, lives like anyone else.
Yeah.
And it's, but when you're in the heat of the battle, it's hard to say, oh, well, let me take a break and hang out with these people that aren't fighting for shit, and
Yeah.
Maybe the bad guys won't kill you today. It's like I don't feel that I can stop fighting just because I know people who are Christian and not out to get me, because there's too many who are out to get me.
And you know what, you're entirely well within your rights to react that way. And in what I was saying, I'm not trying to admonish people who are like who get mad at religious folks. Like, well, not all religious people are bad. It's like, but yes, there are still a lot of bad ones. Like, that's still fair. Your reaction is still fair. And I'm more just talking about like how I'm trying to and am trying to like find a way to function and get along with everyone around me. But at the same time, it's like there is still, from my perspective, and I'm presuming you share at least part of this perspective, there is still something wrong there, because they're still believing in a religion that, if not directly believes the Bible is God inspired, or at the very least is inspired by their God. And there's a lot of bad shit in there. You can't get away from that. Even if you like soften it up a bit, it's still there. And there's still a problem, in my opinion, with choosing to believe that. I'm just sort of accepting that I have battles to pick, and most of them are going to be with the evangelicals. So the rest can go, I'll leave alone, kind of thing. But there is still an issue there, and I don't think you're wrong in the heat of the moment, not taking the moment to say, well, this isn't all Christians. Like, it's fine. You don't have to do that every time. And you shouldn't feel compelled to. And it's totally okay. I don't think you're wrong for acting that way. It's okay. It's okay. I feel like I'm trying to, what's the word I'm looking for? Comfort myself there. It's fine. It's definitely fine. There we go. That's what I needed. I just need to talk more. That's what wakes me up. There we go.
That would be self-pleasuring, isn't it?
Well, that's for later when the camera's off.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, I have done basically none of that since I got on HRT.
Sabrina, you're the only one here who's on camera. That's all I'm saying.
I know I can turn the camera off, but I'm keeping it on for now, making myself accountable.
Yeah.
I don't know what the rest of you all are doing.
I don't have a camera.
Eating crackers with hummus.
I don't like cameras or mirrors.
So we'll get you on a camera with a mirror, so you have an infinite number of you.
Oh, Purple, I didn't tell you the fun part about my kidney thing. I'm on medication for the first time ever. That's not the fun part. The fun part is I'm a forced vegetarian.
Oh.
Yep.
That doesn't work well for you,
no more
does
meat
it?
for me.
Is this indefinite? Is this?
I said to the doctor, I said, look, I said, you need to understand how much I love meat here. I said, I take like eggs and sausage and then wrap it all in bacon, and then I'll eat it with a steak. And she said, yeah, you're not doing that anymore.
Oh, I'd love me some sausage and a pair of eggs.
Okay,
Sorry.
I haven't heard of that before about with kidney problems having to go no meat.
It might depend. It probably depends on what the issue is.
Difficult thing. Animal protein is the most difficult thing for your kidneys to filter. So
Mark,
if there's a filtering problem, which is pretty much what your kidneys do, then you should not eat animal protein.
I was going to say, Mark, if that profile picture is a picture of you, then yeah, there's clearly something wrong with your mirrors.
That was a proposal.
Like,
Mark.
seriously, bro.
Pardon me, Jenny?
I said that was a proposal, Mark.
It's not a proposal. I'm just making an observation.
Well, hey, that, and he makes his own whiskey too.
I would like to try that sometime. Make my own scotch. I think we got some peat moss around here I could burn.
You know, it's funny. I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, yeah, I'd love to make that.
Demon.
I wouldn't be drinking any of it because I don't drink, but that might be fun to try making and just give to other people.
Yeah, I've thought of that too, about trying to brew my own. It'd be fun, but it's a process and you need a lot of equipment.
Oh, how long have we been here?
Almost 3 hours.
Yeah, we should probably wind down here and do the go around and the sign off things.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, anybody have anything they want to plug before we go? Mage, I know you just put up that thing about 10 flower facts.
Yeah, it's a random flower facts. I did 10 of them. I figured try that.
Yep, that's on my watch list. I haven't had a chance to watch that yet, but I did get a notification that you released that.
Oh, hope you like it.
Looking forward to it.
It's kind of a idea I had, and still haven't gotten around to the DIY soil test I want to do. Keep meaning to do that, and things keep coming up.
Actually, Mark, in the U.S., it's not against the law that it is legal for you to distill a certain amount for personal use. I don't quite know what the limit is. It's just illegal to sell it.
Yeah, that was my understanding as well. I don't know if that's the case here or not, though.
Well, you can distill up there, but it has to end up tasting like maple syrup.
Hey,
that's right.
The whiskey I usually buy is a Canadian blend.
Syrup. Oh yeah, does it have maple syrup in it?
No.
Oh.
Somebody had put a thing on Twitter just describing food. Tell us where you are. So that was my answer. Is I'm west of cheese and south of maple syrup.
West of cheese and south of maple syrup.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, except perp. You got to drop the stereotypes. Wisconsin and Minnesota produce an incredibly large amount of syrup or maple whatever syrup.
Well, if we're going off of that, I guess I'm going to have to say that I'm east of steak and south of pot. I mean, I'm west of steak and south of pot.
Boy, I might pretty soon live in Pot Central.
It's what Colorado is famous for is pot. I don't know what else they do there. We'll go with meat. I'm west of steak and south of Rocky Mountain oysters.
Ew.
Beans on toast. Wait, is that what you're reacting to?
No, I love beans on toast.
Good.
I think she meant about the Rocky Mountain oysters.
The Rocky Mountain oysters.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I think it's a riot that's one of these macho things that you have to consume to prove that you're a man.
Yeah.
Rocky Mountain oysters.
Okay, go ahead.
That's
East Coast. Hey, let's get some from an elephant too, okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna just go eat a random organ that has no health benefit to me. No, I'm good.
And
that happens to produce sperm. No, I'm good. If you said clit in my mouth, we could talk, but not the other one.
It's funny talking about these like sexuality. Yeah.
I said recently that I might consider dating a twink, but he'd have to be like really like tiny, feminine girl, really, really girly, and accept the fact that I would never touch his genitals.
I mean, what if he was a trans twink though?
Okay, Mark. Bye.
Later, Mark.
Oh, well,
Bye-bye,
no.
Marky
If he was
fool.
a woman's a woman. That's different.
Oh, what?
Are you
Oh, sorry.
saying that-
What
you're
I
saying
meant.
female to male twink.
Female to male
Is that what
twink
you're
without
saying?
bottom. Yes, that's what I was getting at. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, I'd tear that up. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's where I was going.
If there is pussy, I will be there.
Fair enough. I mean, I can appreciate that, even though my opinion or I guess preference has changed quite a bit. I'm just like, I'm good for whatever. I'm in this weird
That's almost what
state of
testosterone did to me, but I still have a problem with the penis and balls thing. Especially the nuts. They're the grossest.
Well, I was just going to say, I'm in this weird state of incongruity where I am both very bisexual and very asexual as well, and I don't really understand how I'm able to reconcile both of these. I don't reconcile them. I'm just perpetually confused.
Over the last few weeks, my psychologist has decided that we need to talk about my sexual preferences and stuff, and made me talk about this shit, and I really hate it.
Is that difficult for you to discuss?
Yeah, in an official capacity, yeah, I can sit here and joke about it and things.
Yeah, in a clinical setting, it's very different.
Yeah, it is. And I'm sure she's not trying, getting off on me talking about it.
Wouldn't that just be summarized as yes?
Pardon?
Wouldn't that just be summarized as yes?
Yeah, that's my sexual preferences frequently.
My sexual preferences, please, once.
What? I'm
once.
sorry.
And my sexual preferences is I have no fucking clue, and I'm okay with that mostly.
Yeah, my preferences have not changed with the HRT. One of the things the doctor kept pressing before I started was that it was going to kill my sex drive. That lowers your sex drive so much, and it has done that. So at this point, I think my sex drive is down to what would be considered normal for a woman in her 20s.
Does that mean we're going to see you in one of those Girls Gone Wild videos out of Bermuda or something?
Hey, I said I'd do porn if I thought anybody would pay for it.
Perp, there's probably somebody.
There is always going to be someone who will pay for it.
They'll start it only for fans only, or Patreon, and have
OF. Yep.
Yeah, I just don't know how to, keep content going on those things to keep people's interest, so I wouldn't make any money off it.
You do the same shit over and over and over again. They don't care. When they hit the one that gets them to jack off, they'll go back to it over and over and over.
Yeah.
That hit a little too close to home.
Sorry.
No, I
disagree.
don't apologize. Wait, what?
Bacon is not salty cardboard. It is kidney failure and a heart attack and a delicious strip. That's what it is. Delicious strip.
I won't argue that.
Okay, but there's so many other meat cuts that are better than bacon. This is what I don't understand about the bacon hype. Is there are things that are better than bacon.
Bacon does have a unique flavor to it, and bacon is great. It's just it's such a mess to cook it and clean up.
Sabrina, I think this is the last time you're going to be on the show.
It is, and you're
wrong. Well, it's not that I hate bacon. It's just I like other things better than bacon, like Canadian bacon.
What is wrong with you?
That's ham. That is not bacon. Canadian bacon is fucking ham. Little tiny pieces of ham.
I know it's not bacon. I like it better though.
It's a lie.
Yeah,
lie.
And then they went and put it on,
or back bacon, as it is otherwise referred to.
Ham.
Let's see who said that. Tina, is gammon that thing it's like bacon except it's made out of all beef or something like that?
Danish bacon.
Yeah, Danish bacon.
Is it made out of pork or beef or what?
Yeah, what cut of the animal is that from?
It's a
gammon is the.
It's a hindquarter cut of all those sexy models in Amsterdam.
It's the hind leg of pork after it has been cured by dry salting or brining.
Yeah, none of those models have any meat on them. You wouldn't get anything.
Yeah, no. You want some flesh, you better go to the big girl side of Pornhub. Don't go for fucking models. They don't have any meat on them. They're all just bones. Ugh.
Hey, Porpoise.
I would never. Oh, sorry.
Porpoise. Congratulations to Pennsylvania for electing a Democrat where there's been a Republican for way too long.
Yeah, did you hear that Jacksonville, Florida also elected a Democrat mayor?
Yes.
And, well, one of the things that they're not talking about a lot with that is that, according to their polling, the turnout for voting was still like 2/3 Republican. So that means a lot of Republicans decide to vote for the Democratic candidate.
Interesting. Well, when it comes to mayoral elections, it can be a little bit different. Sometimes people don't necessarily vote regarding party lines; they'll actually vote regarding, like, okay, who is this mayor?
Yeah.
By the way, here in Toronto, we're going through a mayoral by-election right now because our mayor resigned, and we've got about 100 and something candidates right now. It is like the most populous city in Canada. Like, what do you expect?
Well, when you get to the more local elections, then people are more likely to, be aware of some issue that has directly affected them.
And that is why, this is an interesting thing. So, me and my parents, we've decided, like, we haven't done it yet because I've been busy with work and whatever, but we're going to basically be sitting down and doing a bunch of research together on, like, all the major candidates to, like, look at what they're caring about and decide on who we're going to vote, even though I know we are going to all vote differently from each other because my dad's very conservative leaning and I'm obviously as left as anyone in the family has ever been. But we've agreed, it's like, it doesn't matter that we disagree. What matters is that our decisions are informed. And that's what we're going to make a point is.
Yeah.
Right. I forgot about that.
I'm going to get going, you guys.
Okay, Jenny.
I'm about to go too.
Have a good one, Jenny. Love to see you.
I got nothing to report.
Bye, Jenny.
Oh, wait. This weekend is that big show, isn't it? Perp?
Yeah, this Saturday I'm going to be doing a special show on, people who are old enough to remember what life was like as an adult before the internet.
Unfortunately, because of all the drugs, I'm going to have to study that. I don't remember anymore.
What time are you doing that on Saturday, Perps?
I'm going to be doing that Saturday at 4, right after Granny's stream.
4 Central?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to see if I'll be home by then.
I know, I'll still be at work. Okay, 4 Central?
All right, beautiful.
Is 4 Central 5 Eastern? No, I can't remember.
Thank you for having me, Perps.
Yeah, 4 Central, 5 Eastern.
Oh, then I might be able to make that. Okay, perfect.
All right. Good night, you guys.
Good night.
Thank you for being
love you,
here.
Beautiful people.
You're why we do it. We love you.
Before the internet or before the WWW?
Thanks,
yeah, that's
Perps.
a fair question.
Love you guys.
Yeah, well, actually, Porpoise, I think most people don't know the difference between them.
So, I know there is a difference. I don't know what I can't remember what the difference is.
I'm not going to say that I know enough to really say one way or the other on that. I think they're both kind of the same. At least, you know, from a functional standpoint to the end user.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we were wrapping things up.
We were indeed.
Well, Jenny just shouted out my thing that other than next Wednesday, you know, that Saturday we'll be actually doing a show that we're going to try to stay on topic for at least an hour.
Okay, I'll stay inside chat so I don't distract everyone. Because I can't stay in topic.
Okay, well, does anybody else have any final words before we shut down here?
Nope.
Trans rights are human rights, and eat the rich. I don't know.
Yep.
Trying to find some other.
Don't be a bigot.
Don't be a bigot. There we go. There's a good one.
Cliche line here.
Oh, FTP. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, well.
File transfer protocol. I remember what that was.
Yeah, I'm figuring that most people did not have any experience with anything to do with the internet before, you know, sometime in the 1990s.
Most people, yeah.
I mean, I would certainly fit that category considering I didn't have anything to do with anything until the 1990s. Being born in the 1990s.
Yeah. Okay. Well, with that, we will let you all go. We will see you all next week.
See ya, everyone. Bye-bye.